Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Lazarus expedition.
Woo! Yes! Let's go.
Fucking go, boys.
Whew.
All right. Where did we leave off?
Potato McWhiskey, I think you have something prepared.
Oh, that's right, he does.
I absolutely, totally remember exactly what we did in the last episode, and I definitely prepared for this whole rap battle that I'm supposed to do at the start of the episode. I'm pretty sure that we were chilling because we were trying to get rid of the mushroom illness, and then some elves appeared. They dropped down from the forest. They netted netted Cassian and Styramir. They lifted them up into the air. We got into like a little bit of combat. Nick pulled off a channel divinity shatter, and then the elves were like, "Bro, calm down. We're just here to get rid of your mushrooms." And I think they helped us get rid of the mushrooms, which was a different kind of circumcision. But we ended up with no mushrooms after the encounter with the elves. The elves, it turns out, were actually pretty chill. We managed to convince them to help us out, and they led us to a pass through the forest. I think Cassian tried to get a little romantic with one of the elves, and there was like a little bit of risen. He rizzed up. We introduced Koibu to the concept of riz. He had a great time learning about that. And the forest looked like it was managed and well looked after by the elves. We came upon a party of slavers, whereupon we managed to roll godlike, surprise them, get the drop on them, and then immediately get sleet stormed into a bogged down horrible fight where my haste got picked off me, and then Peachal had to stand there like a loose screw for a whole turn. But eventually...
Loose screws are known for standing around, yeah.
That's right, they do. That's exactly what they do. In fact, they're well known for doing that. In fact, in 1842, my great-great-grandfather coined the term the loose screw. Now, once upon a time, during the battle with the slavers, Peachal actually, like turn one, slaughtered basically everyone, and then Iron Grip just basically like terminated his way towards the mage, did basically nothing the entire fight with the exception of like the opening move. But we did manage to persevere over the slavers, and I think was it Nick that submitted the final blow to the slaver?
I'll take that, yeah, probably.
Okay, yeah, it was you. Oh wait, I think Mitz kind of pushed him off a cliff, which was actually super epic.
Way
and then
cool.
We found ourselves with a whole party of slavers dead, a whole bunch of resources expended, and we're sitting around waiting for the next part of the story to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
The only correction I'd make is that the Elven Forest looked super unmaintained.
Right.
Not maintained, yeah. That's it. Other
Okay.
than that, killed it.
Because there was somebody in... I'm gonna argue with you here, because there was somebody in the subreddit that said that specifically in unmaintained forests, sometimes there will be nothing in the undergrowth. I had the original opinion that agreed with you, but then somebody tried to convince me the other way. So that's why.
Well,
I said that.
it really is going to depend on the sort of forest we're talking about. If we're doing coniferous woods, like lots of pines, there is a substance that they secrete
Acidity.
that will decrease the growth of things around them. So if you are like in Arizona or some other places where you've got these like wide open coniferous woods, you might find like not much but pine needles and broken branches. But it's going to be, super dependent on the subtype of wood that we're dealing with.
Absolutely. Are you an expert at dealing with wood?
Not as good as your mom.
You said you peed on a campfire once.
Yeah, well, we in the United States do a lot of camping. At least we in California do. So
Just a quick reminder to the viewers as well. The elf said to Cassian that they think that he's a good person, which is probably the highest compliment an elf could ever give.
What did the elves say about Drollraiser?
They thought you were a monster.
Yes.
That's some
He should kill
bullshit
you.
right there. That's
He
some
is a
bullshit.
monster. Mate, he is a monster. He's half.
He is, yeah. The
Wait,
elf
no,
was
he's
not
he's
wrong.
full hobgoblin.
he's full
Whoa.
hobgoblin, yeah.
Are you saying there's
He's a
something wrong with
hobgoblin.
being a hobgoblin? Are you?
No, I'm
being
saying it makes
prejudiced?
you a monster. I'm saying it makes you a monster. That's all.
That's what your mom calls me. Okay, let's go. Let's get into the episode.
All right.
All right, so let's turn down the beginning music and let's hop in. Where we last left our party, you are standing in a plane with a bunch of liabilities. Right?
Oh, I guess I will. We'll start untying them after everyone's dead.
I think
Are
you
you- are
mean
you-
free meat.
Mhm.
I'll look to the people as I'm untying them and ask kind of broadly, Are you all okay?
They nod. They're alive. Their wounds are. They do not have open wounds. They don't need any tending to. They're just being moved from one market to another.
Who are
Iron
you?
Grip.
people?
Iron Grip will say proudly, we have acquired ourselves slaves to bring on our expedition.
I agree. These people could be quite useful for this, but I
Yeah,
don't know in what form they are.
Remember when
we don't
we were
have a
just saying that
dedicated
you're a
rogue?
monster?
We don't have a dedicated rogue. This could be a great way for us to find traps ahead.
Iron Grip, we're not taking these people as slaves. We're freeing them.
He's a
Uh,
Soviet
I'll start
commander.
unbinding them and
What
ask.
do you mean? We killed their owners. That means like Cassian, if I kill your stuff, this is our stuff now.
And I am choosing that we will all free them.
If you don't want them, I'm sure Julia would appreciate a little bit more help.
Hang on. Yeah, at least half of the slaves. We're half of the party, so half of the slaves belong to us.
But we make our decisions as a party. I say that we do a vote. If we want to bring them along in the expedition or if we want to free them. How do you agree, Steermere, to call the vote?
I don't think we should be a vote here. These people aren't slaves. They're not stuff to be divvied out when somebody's killed. These are human beings.
They're obviously human beings, and they're obviously not stuff, but
I'll point at
they're
one and be
still.
like, "That one's a half orc. That's not a human. Can we keep that one?"
I'll nod at them. Obviously, they're different from stuff, but they still, had an owner, and that owner has changed now. If you, like I said, if you don't want them, that's fine. But
Well, hang on. You said their owner has changed. Their owner hasn't changed. Their owner is dead. They have no owner anymore.
that's true. Yeah.
I'll point to the elf.
Um,
This one probably belongs back in that forest.
hang on a minute. If somebody dies, okay, Rolf Razor's like cranking up his best like philosophical argument right here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If somebody is in possession of a weapon and they die in the field of battle, the person who killed them can pick them up. Now, a slave is a person, but it is also a tool. And a weapon is a type of tool that is used in warfare. These slaves could be tools of war. So therefore, we have killed the person who wielded them, and now it is our weapon. You don't, like, if you kill someone, you take their sword. You don't like, be free sword, and you toss it into a river for some guy to find 1,000 years later and crown himself king. Like, come on.
Well, exactly. You take the sword. It doesn't instantly belong to you. You could take these people, sure, and force them into servitude, but it's not
Well,
given. That's
Wait,
a choice made by
I'm
you.
not forcing them into servitude. Whoever originally captured them did the wrong. I am merely continuing the institution.
Which is wrong.
We can agree or disagree on that, but factually, I believe that we as a party, if there's spoils of war, if there's things to be captured, if there's things to be taken, then we've so far divvied those things up between us, and I don't see why this should be different. If you would like to take some of these slaves and tell them that they're free, then you can do that, but I think, for one, we as servants of Julia, things that we capture on missions from Julia belong to Julia, and I don't want to set these people free without consulting with her first.
And also, you can't just set slaves free in the wilderness. Look at them. They have no equipment. What are
They'll
they going to
die
do
out here.
Yeah, they'll die. These are people. You
I'll
have to
point
think
to
of them.
all of the
You have to
bandits'
think of them
equipment.
like dogs. You have to protect them and look after them and feed them. They're not.
The bandits have
They're not
equipment right
people
there.
yet.
I'll point. They can just take that and go home.
I'll turn to the slaves and go, can any of you fight? Raise your hand if you can fight.
One person raises their hand.
And I'm like, oh, do you guys think you could make it through the Badlands?
Hand goes down.
No,
Cool.
but I'm sure the
We're
elves would
keeping
take
the
them in.
slaves.
Would they?
I'll turn to the elf and I'll be like, elves, do elves like outsiders?
This
Draw
bit of
Razor.
a
I don't know if you recall our conversations with the elves before we left their forests, but we're kind of limited on food and water here. I'm not
I
sure we
agree.
can take.
What do you mean? We just
large-
got a whole bunch of free meat. You guys don't think logically.
There's
sorry,
probably Koibu, there's probably also like rations, resources that these people had, right? They're laying
Totally.
around
Yeah, they've
Yeah.
got their own supplies.
here. Yeah.
to make it to Heatstroke, though.
Well,
I don't know
enough
if I agree
supplies
that
to
we
get
should
back
take them
to
to
the elves.
Heatstroke. It is more of a liability than anything else to take them with us on this mission, I think. These people are weak, only one of them can fight. But we should find some way to deal with them here. I'm sure they don't want to venture through the Badlands to try to get home. They will probably need our help when we come back.
In
Maybe
fact, freeing them probably has condemned them to death. So we may have actually done an evil act here. These people may have been able to make it to a city and get freed through the long term of their servitude. We may have killed these people. We may have committed an act of evil here.
We're
What
not
do you
that
guys
far
think?
from the Elven Forest.
This is
Yeah, I know.
the elf. There's no way the elves are taking these guys in. Okay, they took one look at me and decided that I was a creature of evil just because I
there's
like
a
eating
half orc
things.
here. There's an elf. They might take the elf in. Maybe the elf can convince them to take these others in. But
I want to know what do the
how
slaves look like as we argue.
Sort
yeah,
of.
and also,
Resigned.
yeah,
You know, like this isn't the first time that their flesh has been argued over.
yeah. Koibu, do I know how elves feel about like the slavery in these lands in general?
That's a good question. You have very, very little. I mean, the only experience you actually have with the elves in their native land is the experience you just had, which you really only saw the one or two. In the cities back down in the Great Desert, you have seen elves about who have some class of servant with them, but it was a little hard to tell if they were servant or slave. Like, they were a little too well dressed to be slaves. On the other hand, like, some really fancy people do have nicely dressed slaves. But there's so few of them, and they're so far between that there's not much information to go off of.
Okay. And like there is traveling elves, and I am like indentured in servitude. I am a slave. So when, especially as a gladiator, right? So like I would probably have encountered slaves that are like faced with this like very real like the way that like humans would handle like indentured servitude and even let them fight in colosseums and stuff like that. Would I have maybe ever seen an elf in the Colosseum watching? Would I have ever noticed an elf who was like commenting on the fact that I was a slave and how that was wrong or anything like that?
You
Like, basically, I'm
have
trying to
seen
find out-
elves within the Colosseum as spectators.
Yeah.
That is absolutely true. You've not had many conversations with them. Half elves, sure,
Yeah.
but that's a different breed altogether.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find out if Cypher would think that elves like understand and agree with the principles of like a person being in servitude to the point where like if these people went to the elven village and got taken in, would they understand if I came there that and I said, hey, I'm these people's owner, or like I am in responsible for these people and I want to bring them to a new owner, would they like understand that concept?
They would definitely understand the concept of owning other people, whether they are in favor of it or not. Like the concept's not going to be alien to them.
Okay, so here's what I think we should do. I think these people, the best chance these people have right now is not to come with us to Heatstroke, but to go back to the elves and ask them for help. On our way back, we will pass by the elves as well, and then we can probably take them with us. Without him, like, I think the slavery part doesn't even really play in here, because the fact of the matter is the best chance these people have of getting back to civilization and to town is to come with us. Agree?
Where were
I
the
think that
slavers
that
taking
is-
them?
I'll ask the elf. Where were you being taken? Where were you taken from as well?
I do not know to where we were going.
Do you know where
Where'd
you came
come
from?
Most recently, we come from a village near the... Oh, my map is too zoomed out. Near the river in the east.
Well, then if the entire party agrees, I give a look to the two monstrous beings. Then would it be okay if, and I'll be undoing their chains, the elf, would it be okay if you would take these fine folk back to, I'll point. There's a person, an elf named Violet, who lives in the forest there. I don't know if you know them, but that's a name that you can use. I'm sure that you know some people in the forest as well.
The elf will nod.
We'll be coming back through here in a few weeks, maybe a month.
Cassian, we could give them some gold so that they can pay the elves for passage to the other side of the forest.
I don't think elves really care about money.
Is that true? I say to the elf.
We can use it. We
That's what I
trade with
thought.
other races, other peoples.
How many of
I
them are there?
will. Yeah.
How many slaves are there?
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6.
I say we give 60 gold. That's 10 gold per person. Should be enough to get them to the other side of the forest.
Okay.
I'm
I
not
take-
going
I
to give
took
them
it
any
off
of
the
my
kick.
gold.
Yeah,
That's
I
Twelve
would-
Razor will mutter quietly. That's 6 livers.
our gold is all kind of intertwined, so
Yeah.
I'll hand them 6 jades. I'll hand the elf 6 jades. Each
Okay.
jade is worth 100 gold.
No, 60, not 600.
Oh, I'll hand
600
them 1
is
jade. sorry.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
10 gold per person should be enough.
Mm-hmm.
there you go.
Before you go, let me tell you, as a slave myself, if you go back out there, if you try to make your way back without us, there's a good chance you will die. If you make your way back alone and you do somehow manage to get back to the city, there is still a chance that you will be enslaved. And my great speech is being interrupted by my doorbell, so I'm going to be right back.
Wait, but while he's giving the great speech, Cassian is gonna go and he's going to try and find he assumes that there's like a book of all the names. I don't know if there's gonna be deeds or something like that. He'll go and check the sorcerer specifically for like a book of like, I don't know if there's like ownership paper for slaves. I guess what did we get when we bought plaques originally?
Good point.
Okay. Let's take a look over here. Yeah. So as you start rifling through the possessions of the dead, and you find that sorcerer, sure enough, the sorcerer has a small sack with a bunch of paperwork in it. Some are folded letters, some are sealed letters that haven't been opened yet. There's just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff here. So you can sit down in the grass near the water, maybe
I don't think
clean
I
off the blood
would
and read through it
Sit
all.
down and read through it. No.
Okay.
I'm gonna just assume that it's it. And
Well,
I'm gonna
there's
do
like a
an
lot of stuff here. There's a
Yeah.
stack about yay big. Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna assume that it's it. Can I get an insight check on how I feel about the elf? I feel like they're trustworthy.
Sure,
It's
give
an
me an insight check. Yeah.
17.
Yeah, you know what? They're probably a couple hundred years old, maybe 300 or 400 years old. They're pretty peaceful people as far as you understand. They tend to keep to themselves. When they ambushed you and Nick, they didn't murder you, and they probably could have. So if this elf is anything like the ones that you just met, they're probably trustworthy and peaceful and wise and long-lived and long-sighted.
I will grab some rations, put it in the bag on top, and I will go to the elf.
Mm-hmm.
I will hand them the bag in front of everyone, and I will just say, please, I put some rations in this bag. Make sure you dispose of it when needed. And I'll hand
Sorry
them the
about
bag.
that.
All right. You hand them the bag.
Give him a wink.
All right. They take the bag, and pretty quickly, the whole pack gets up and heads on out.
They got food, they got money. I'll tell them to take weapons to arm themselves just in case.
Oh, yeah.
go
They'll
ahead.
stop by.
Weapons
They'll
and
grab
shields.
weapons. They'll grab equipment. They'll loot the dead for a minute, and then they will go.
Can I finish the speech I would have given them?
Yes.
Yeah, before they go, I have something to ask too.
Yeah. If you decide to go out on your own and not to wait for us, your chances of survival are slim, and your chances of having a good life out there are even slimmer. Julia has treated me and my partner here extremely well, better than any slave I've ever seen in my life. You can have that life too if you wait for us. I promise it'll be worth it.
Before they all head out, I will say, I saw that you guys were looting the dead and whatnot. If you have any items that you think could be useful to us on our journey as a thank you for saving you, it would be appreciated.
The slaves dressed in rags get up, and and shuffle over to the corpses of the dead, look through them, and one of them will bring over a pair of gold rings and drop them in your hand.
I'll hand that person, I don't know, 20 gold. What are they called? Cords? 2 cords. Thank you.
Each cord is 50 gold, so that'd be
I'll
100.
hand them like half of a cord then, because I only have 29 gold. So I'm giving
Got
them
it, yeah.
20.
Drawlrazor will tell them to remember that we are the Iron Guts, and that is whose name you should invoke.
I shake my head.
Are any of them like gravely injured or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay.
They look a little underfed. Maybe some of them are a little sick. And they're all like tired and worn, but there's no like major injuries, nothing to worry about.
Okay.
Just in case it needs saying, I checked the sorcerer's body for important gear, potions, scrolls.
Well, there was a whole bunch of paperwork that was just given to these slaves. That seems to be the only bit of important stuff. Well,
Okay.
actually, hold on. Oh, yeah, no. With you find a pair of broken potions in their bag.
Rip.
Looks like they had them, and then when they got pushed off that cliff, they broke under their weight.
Plaques! No, not plaques. Mitts. Damn you. Okay.
I get down on the ground like Barney Rubble and start licking the ground. No, I'm just kidding.
I put on the magical rings and I asked the elf, "What is your name?"
Wait, magical rings.
It's wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking. We'll see.
You ask the elf for their name, and she will reply her name is Vaughn.
It's nice to meet you, Vaughn. Send my sweet regards to Violet. My name's Cassian.
Thank you, Cassian, and the Iron Guts for freeing me, and all of us.
It's the Waystars. I say
Oh,
the
right.
Waystars.
The
Sorry, we're
Iron
the
Gut
Waystars.
Waystars?
Drawlrazor nods profusely because
That'll
he forgot
work.
the name of the party.
That'll work.
Will it work?
Where are you heading?
Heatstroke.
The Cursed Lands?
That's right.
If that's what you call them, then yeah.
The city beyond the Strap, surrounded by the Cinder Sands.
Yes. The Great
That's where we
Temple.
are headed. Do you have any advice for us?
I think they would say,
home.
"Don't go."
Yeah.
She shakes
We're
her head.
going.
Your mind seems made up.
We'll see you back here in a few weeks to a month.
She gives you
It's nice to meet you, Vaughn.
that like smile of someone who you've just promised to make plans with, but you both know you're never gonna fucking make plans with them. But you're like, oh, we should totally get together. I'll text you. All right, bye. And then you walk away. Yeah, that's the like, okay,
Wait, people aren't genuine when they say that?
nobody, no.
No, they are when they say it to you, mate.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Um,
You're one of those guys who, when someone says, "Oh, you're all right," you go, "Oh, actually, I've had a really hard week."
Look up to Madrigal if you ever need a little bit of hope. Cassian says just randomly.
There's some like nodding of, yep, that's the goddess of hope. Cool. Bye. And the slaves take their newfound gear, some bags, some new shoes, some extra clothes, and they head to the west. Now, our party is somewhere over here. Like some mountains are to your southern edge. If you look south, you can see mountains.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
now we're gonna follow the mountains, right?
Can we get a token on it? Or are you trying to keep it vague where we are?
You don't know. Yeah, I'm just somewhere. It doesn't really matter. You're just over here
We
somewhere.
know that we've left the forest and we know that there's mountains down there because
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
see them, right?
No, I get that. It's nice sometimes to have a little marker.
Yeah.
Even
Alright.
if we have to place it
Yeah,
ourselves.
Yeah,
if
sure.
that's
No,
okay.
here you go.
No, but can we have a small, like one that's not giant, you know?
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
This looks like a shield. It's a nice one.
Okay.
No,
We'll just
Let's-
get.
Can't you just
I'm just gonna get rid of the numbers, and then it'll just be a little you.
Look, see?
I've just got a little cart. Can you make this cart small for me? Okay, we'll use the mini me. I am the party's leader. We are here. Good.
Okay.
Jolrazor would like to oppose Sturmir for leadership of the party.
You'd have to oppose Cassian.
Me and Cassian are injured.
We just need a short rest, which we're at a
Yeah.
waterway. Anyways,
Yeah,
that
we got
was
to
a
rest for the
camp,
night.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we just rest here.
Great. Yeah, the party can take a short rest.
Hey, quick question about the mechanics of this as a party. Are we going to get a long rest before we enter the temple? Like, or is any spell I'm using now a spell that I can't use in the final?
I think
Oh, that's a
so.
great
Town
question.
Here.
Yeah,
There's
you'll
a
have to figure
town
it out.
somewhere here on the river.
I used one fighting spirit because I think that we might not get a rest before.
Well, I had to use one of my level 3 spells and one of my level 2 spells, which isn't loads, but it's still relatively a lot.
And I'm proud of you, Nick, because
And I
not
don't-
many people would spam their spells.
Well, I
Base.
didn't spam them. I didn't
No,
spam
you did a good job. I'm not being facetious.
But
you did a good job.
but if we face more encounters along the way, chances of me having many spells left for the final temple is unlikely.
What's going to be waiting for us in the temple? Probably the gods, just giving us the
know.
scroll. That's it.
What if
It's
the
not
mall
really-
was there?
Yeah, we take a short rest.
All right. Well,
and
we
will
can
see
take
if we get a long rest.
a short rest. And while we're
Spend
taking
your
this
dice.
short rest, let's talk about a couple of things here. Because our party is first off, this map is not a map that you have, right? Ostigan has like drawn a rough map, and I put this map out because it's easier than recreating it in a shitty form. But you definitely don't have a map of this quality. You have like sort of Ostigan's finger drawn in the dirt style markings. So your exact placement, not really known. Locations of civilizations, not really known. Generally speaking, if you're like going up and down a major waterway, there's probably towns or villages or cities or something like that. You do know, though, that you were told that the easiest way is to follow the mountains until you reach the end of the hills and then cross that way. So if you want to like go up the waterway, you could, but if you're trying to approach Heatstroke from any other direction, it's supposed to be a longer journey.
We do it like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my question for you all is, what's the plan right now? Are you just going from here to there? Someone had mentioned something about a town. The question about long rests is really useful. Do you take a long rest before you begin your desert journey? Or do you take a long rest after the desert journey? Can you take a long rest after? Like, is there going to be water there? Or is this
If
going to be
you've
like a
only-
get in, get out real quick?
If you've only used 2 spells, let's see where we are when we get to like the desert journey to make our decision if we want to make a long rest here, because it's mountains. There should probably be water over here.
I think right now we probably shouldn't long rest.
I agree.
No, not
We should
now.
do it
yeah.
up here. If we are going to do a long rest, we should do it up here. You're not going to get one through the desert, and you're not going to get one at Heatstroke. So
Why not?
if we
Why can't we rest at Heatstroke? There'll be old buildings and things.
because at Heatstroke is probably going to be where there's some shit going down.
It would be hard for
My
us to
my
obtain
guess
water
would be
and
that
food.
you wouldn't get a long rest at Heatstroke.
I would
wouldn't
not
count
bank on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
count on it.
Do we have supplies to take a long rest?
We do now. We've just killed all these guys.
Did we take a bunch of their supplies? I don't remember.
They have food
Didn't we-
for many days. The 6 slaves that just left took a bunch of them. You
Yeah.
probably don't have enough food for 7 days of resting right now.
Okay, well,
So if
We
you
are
wanted to do
capable
a...
of
Good thing we left it with those slaves. Cypher will say.
is, he's like a truffle hound for meat, and he doesn't need long rests because so he could just go find some animals, kill them.
to be honest, Steermere, I don't think 2 of your extra spells are going to be the difference between us completing our mission or not, if that's where it is. I
No,
think-
fine. Let's keep walking, but I'm just warning you. It's okay as it is now, but if we get into too many fights along the way.
I'll take off the rings. Here, have these maybe magical rings, Steermere. Maybe they'll give you spells back. Put
Thank
them
you.
on.
I'll take them.
He's had two gold
rings.
rings, yes.
2 gold rings. Do they look pristine, Neil?
No, they look like they have been worn on a hand. They've got that platina that's growing on them.
Good. They're pristine in your eyes.
They're perfect, yeah. Thank you.
Now, I did see people rolling hit dice,
I
so
took them off.
everybody, great. You rolled hit dice. Everyone gained. Well, you would have gained one before you rolled them, so you should just be at what you've lost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1. Okay. Time for the party to continue their journey. Now, as we're traveling, you're getting close, right? It's just a little bit of plains, a river, a short section of hills, this desert, and then you're gonna be there. How long have we been in Arcadia? The two of you who have arrived from overseas. How long has it been?
It's been a while. I don't know. I reckon.
Gotta be months, right?
Oh, it's definitely months. I think between 3 and 6 months. I think maybe 4 months.
I think it's got to be 3 months. I think you only took so many long rests, right? You've only done like 6 weeks worth of long rests this campaign, I want to say.
I think we've done more than 6 long rests personally, but I'm not sure. Maybe you're right.
Maybe. Feels like we only had like 6 to 8 long rests, which is 2 months. And then another month worth of actual days adventuring feels about right to me.
Yeah, but we had a lot of days traveling where we just glossed over, but actually, like, for example, the trip up the river took like weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you know, Neil? I mean, you must know, Neil.
I do. I'm trying to ask the party how you feel about how long it's been, because you haven't been keeping close track of time, you know?
Yeah, well, yeah. Sorry, excuse me. I mean, Moot says 3 months. I say maybe 4 months. You asked us to. Well, can we get the actual answer?
Yeah, give us the answer now. Yeah, you tell him, Nick.
3, 4. It's probably close to 5 months at this point.
Fucking culture.
Okay. We've been
Probably
here a
close to 5
fucking
months.
while.
Yeah,
But journeys take a long time.
they do.
That's why they call them journeys, man.
Yeah.
That makes
Um,
sense.
Is that why is that why they call them journeys? How does that make sense?
Because it's like it's a journey, right? It takes a long time.
Does the
It's-
word
it's a whole
journey mean like a lot of time?
Yeah,
or-
well, you won't remember this, but there was a very famous band in the 80s called Journey, and they were known
I
for
remember
long
the band
songs.
Journey. I
Yeah,
watched
so their
Family
songs. Yeah, so their songs were longer than the average song, hence the name. Like a journey for like a long adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that
Fact
makes sense.
check. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I said before the 1980s, they called them something else.
Yeah,
I
because
think
they
I
had
thought,
they had special cassettes that you could turn over and play on the other side, which extended the length
Yeah.
of their tracks by twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's so in the 70s they called them King Crimsons, which didn't roll off the
True.
tongue as well.
Mm-hmm.
True.
This bit's old.
Okay. Well, newer party members, you've been with these folks for not that long, right? It's only been
Few
a
weeks.
month and a half, maybe. How are you feeling about your new traveling partners after having spent some time with them?
I want to eat the old man.
Well,
But
that
why
sounds like a
me?
good thing.
Why am I the one who gets eaten?
That's an
I
honor.
rolled a perception check on your
Did
liver,
you?
dude, and it just fucking, I can see through that skin.
It's a
It just
beast.
looks juicy. Your old man papery skin kind of revealed to me just how juicy it is.
You can
Your
almost see it.
translucent,
Yeah, yeah.
delicious, varicose veins. Oh,
Mhm.
Listen, I might be old, but I'm not too old to give you a whip around the face.
we'll see about that.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see who eats whose liver by the end of this.
Party will come to a river, and Ostigan will tell you that he thinks this is the Wagawash River, but he's not entirely certain. He's not been this far north in a long time, and the area, there's a lot of waterways out here.
Wait,
It's
quick
pretty
question
wild.
quick question for Steermere. Did Steermere ever tell Cassian about what Ostigan did?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Confession is it's private, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
just last time you'd said that you were gonna tell Cassian or something in the meantime. or
Did I?
whatever, but yeah.
Oh,
you,
right.
You said
No.
it. Yeah, you said it randomly. But if you change your mind, it's totally fine. I just want
Yeah,
to
I
know.
changed
if
my
I knew or not.
mind.
Perfect.
Okay.
There's got to be like some monks who got around, like at the dinner tables, like, dude, you won't believe what Jerry confessed today.
Yeah.
Dude's into some wild stuff.
Listen, John, I'm not a fucking monk, okay? You say that again, I'll fuck you up.
Joel Fraser will laugh.
As you are navigating the Wagawash River, where basically you're following Ostigan down the river as he's looking for a good place to cross, the question of the way back comes up. You're going to eventually, once you get this scroll, you still have to then get all the way back to the Stormtide Kingdom, back to Tide's End. There's no port out this way as far as you know. And the plan, if I do recall correctly, was that Julia was going to help you get a ship back home. Yeah. So what is is it going to be as long of a journey to get back?
It is, I mean, because there's no port. We've got to go back to Abelard. Like, where else could we get a boat from? I genuinely don't know, because Blup does no. I mean, these rivers that go through Vodan don't connect to the coast, so it's not like we can get on this river and find a way to the coast from there. We literally have to go all the way back to Bellwind, and then probably Scalesvale, and get Julia to help us with a boat down the river and getting passage out of Avalon. Unless anyone else has got any other ideas.
No,
but
I think that was the plan, and that should stay the plan.
Yeah, the best thing
Julia's
to do is
working
to
with
return
us.
to Julia.
Julia's working with us. She gave us the fucking prism bullshit.
Yep. And where's that prism? You're still carrying it?
Yeah, I have it.
Great. Okay. Well, later in the day, you'll find an area that Ostigan says is crossable, and the party can make it across the Wagawash River without any checks because you've got a nice guide, and cross into the plains thereafter. There are hills in front of you. He tells you that these hills are known as the Strap, and that beyond these hills lies Cinder Sands, this hot, burning desert, beyond which is Heatstroke. He doesn't know anything about the monsters of this region. He's never been on the other side of the Wagawash River. Well, on the north side, but not on the west side, east side. And from here on out, he is not of any use to the party. Well, he doesn't have any specialty knowledge.
I was going to say, how long until Troll Races tries to eat him?
His
The
purpose
answer to that question is within 5 seconds.
Well, thank you, Ostigan. Your knowledge will be extremely useful on the way back.
Yeah, we'll see you back at Bellwind, mate.
No, he's going.
I'm just joking.
You're coming with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, of course. Can I get a D100 from MrMouton?
Boom.
Boom.
All right.
We wanted low. You fucked up.
No,
You
we
fucked
didn't.
us.
You always want
Fucked
high.
us.
Can I get a D100 from Jan?
See? I
Sure.
fixed it.
Get high
You
and
want
stay high.
Go low. Oh,
So low.
He probably
So
swapped
low.
it because he was like, oh, he's going to get high.
Whoa.
I told you want low.
Depends on what you want. These hills that you're going through,
They're alive.
and the first day through them is pretty easy.
12 razor sings.
Yeah, true. Thank you. Someone needed to follow up.
Eris, the god of tranquility, is high in the sky on that first day. On the second day, the grasses
is my
get
raven.
smaller and shorter and tougher and sparser. And you're coming into an area where it's pretty dry. Water is becoming a concern. You go 6 hours without having seen any sources of water anywhere. All of you have multiple water skins that you got from the elves and that you might have picked up from some of the slavers as well. So everyone's like laden with a bunch of water that you're hauling with you. In
Yeah.
fact, it's probably the heaviest thing on you except your
Yeah.
armor. But you're starting to look around and realize that there is not a lot of available stuff here. If someone had mentioned maybe taking a long rest in this area, and with the lack of water, there's also not a lot of wildlife. And these hills are looking real unfriendly in terms of hunting and in terms of feeding and watering yourselves.
Listen, Cassian, I don't claim to be an expert on deserts. You know, I've never been to a desert before, but I'm a little bit surprised. There's no water here at all. Like, it doesn't look like anything could live out here.
Water for our journey.
Yeah, but I'm noticing there's like less water. There's no water around. We've walked for 6 hours. There's no water. Is this what?
I know you're used to being on a ship, Steermere, but a desert is a place with almost no water. There might be an oasis inside.
My landlubber friend, a ship is the driest place of all. Can't drink the seawater. It's mocking you.
Are you not a god of a divine channeler who can make water?
That's true. I could make water, yes.
I never thought about that the ship is the driest place of all.
Ah,
I'll put
yes.
that in my
I've been
book
in
one day.
many an adventure. One time my entire crew was parched. Man could not even muster the moistness in my lips to utter a sound. When I saw land on the horizon, I didn't. I bit into my own wrist to sate my thirst and allow myself to shout out, "Land ho!" Truly a harrowing experience.
And this ocean, it surrounds the land?
Have you never seen the ocean, Droll Razor?
Yes.
He's not.
I have not.
Well,
When we get to
Why
see it
couldn't you
before
just
it's
drink
over.
the water? If there is water everywhere, surely you could drink.
It's teeming with salt. Water everywhere, but not a drop to drink.
Salt is good for meat. Would it not be good for drinking?
It has the opposite effect on the body.
It will dehydrate you and make you thirsty.
Yeah. It's a cruel fate. Jexel clearly had a hand in designing the seas.
Perhaps we could remove the salt from the sea and live upon it.
Perhaps.
It's while you're having this conversation that one of you, it's actually old man Steermere himself, who will spy a cave in one of these hills. Just a nice little, natural formation with some rock, and there's like a little trickle of water that like runs out of the cave, but like it's getting soaked into the ground fast enough that it doesn't actually leave the mouth of the cave more than like 5 or 6 feet.
Talking about that, over there, that cave looks like there's a river, a trickle flowing out of it. Maybe we should refill our water skins. Although, I would caution that we should be careful, because if there's water in there, there's probably something living in there.
What's the worst it could be? An owlbear?
Cave
It
bear?
could be a giant urinating. They are known to live in these parts. It may not be a natural stream.
Could
Well,
be a
then let's
desert
not go in the
hydra.
cave and let's call into it and see what comes out. Being
Send
defensive.
Droll Razors. Send your bird.
I send the bird towards the cave.
I'll ready an attack.
Seize a cave. Draw a sword.
Yes, that's where bears live.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Truly an American, right? There's someone who
Sees a
looks.
school.
Yeah. Too far.
Well, at least our schools
True, that's what they do.
aren't like the shooting gallery from the Call of Duty video game.
Pip, pip,
Shut the
cheerio.
fuck up. That was a good attempt, Peachel. Did you have to speak on slow because that was how we speak, or was that just while you were
That's
processing
just
the
what I-
accents?
You
That's
guys are
just
pretty.
part of the delivery. Okay.
That's part of the delivery.
Your raven will fly. Where are you sending it?
Just like towards the cave. I don't know, like how close are you to the cave?
You're maybe, I don't know, 150 feet from it, so you can get within 100.
We'll start walking towards the cave, and I'll ready an attack, and we'll get within 50 feet, and then he can send his raven in to go check it out.
Yeah.
He's just looking around. I'm not going to send him like into the cave, but I'll have him like fly by and poke in and have a look in. And do I see anything?
No, the cave is quite dark. You know, the position of it is such that when the sun is over in the west, it's the mountains, and then the hills themselves are creating like a deep dark shadow over this entryway,
Mott.
and so you're not gonna be able to see in very well.
Could you please get us a light stone?
Mott will produce a light stone for you.
I'll put it in the raven's feet.
Ooh.
Yeah, little raven. We'll do basically like a dive bombing attack, and just like swoop in and drop the rock and let it roll into the cave.
Yeah, and as the raven is swooping down towards it, there will be something. Everyone make me a perception check.
Yes, sir.
Well, we can do the new.
That's
Oh, yeah.
right. If you click your token, there should be, hopefully it'll fucking work.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, some things in the upper left-hand corner for you to click.
Oh,
Yeah, it would be a skill check, and then you do the perception from the drop-down, so you don't have to open your character sheets anymore.
You still have to click on your token, though.
that is sick.
We can make it so you don't have to if you want, but I think it's nice not to have so much shit on the screen.
Yeah, no. I wasn't complaining. I was just telling Jamie.
He's just being British.
No.
Cassian, did you roll double ones?
Yeah, the first one is
Yep.
the real one. The second one is like I was just
Wow.
seeing how the new thing worked. But yeah, I got
Well-
the one out of the way.
Cypher, I need you to make me a check here. Roll me a 1d20 plus 1. Don't worry about what this number means
Sounds
or
like a
where
con
it comes
check to me.
from.
Here, roll high, roll high.
Sure.
Middle of
Yes,
the road.
you will recognize the flashing lights or the flashing glints of a magic missile spell as the raven is dissipated from thin air and is dead and gone.
I will jump out of the way of the cave.
Sure.
Out of
Out of base.
reflex,
Yeah.
Cypher will say the hobgoblin term that we've agreed on, because this is a spell that we've probably seen a million times in the arena, so we probably have like a code word for it. So I'll communicate that to Droll Fraser.
I'll call out as well. Hey in there. We mean no harm.
I mean,
We're just traveling through looking for water. I'm literally being honest. Can I give you a persuasion check?
Not yet. Let's let's see how this goes. You're calling out that we're just looking for water. What is everyone else calling out for?
Well, hang on. What do we see in the cave? Because the raven's
No,
dead
it's
and dropped
dark.
the stone. The
Yeah,
raven's
well-
dropped the stone.
Yeah. So you can see like 20 or 30 feet, maybe up to 40 feet if you can see in that dim light of just a passageway that goes back and then begins to open up after a distance of maybe 7 or 8 feet. It looks pretty natural. You don't see any man-made markings. There's no carved stone. There's no rails for wagons or carts or mine carts. It just looks like a very ordinary natural stone cave. The height isn't even that tall. It's maybe like 4 feet. You'd have to like kind of hunch to get underneath it. It's maybe 7 feet wide, sort of a jagged surface.
Only, okay. Couple of things. How many magic missiles were there? I've seen Roy cast the spell. Oh no, it doesn't work on that in 5e. So
Sorry,
it's
is there
three, isn't it?
is there like a map that we can be on Koibu for this? Because I think our party's first where they are is very important if magic missiles are being cast. Cassian literally jumped to the side, and if people are just like kind of standing there looking at what's in the cave, then if there's more, I think that they should get popped.
Well, I mean, it's in the moment. How far away am I from the stone, Neil? 150 feet.
No, you guys said that you wanted to be 50 feet from the cave
50 feet,
entrance.
yeah.
So you were all 50 feet from the cave entrance. If you scroll down, I'm giving you a doodle.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Doodle.
So the orange line is like the entrance to the cave. This is the top-down view, and then the water will trickle out just a few feet and then dissipate. And our party members can be, you're out here somewhere like that. And the black line is like the hills, or the bottom line is like the ground, and the top line. We can just go over the top line. Yeah. And I will also say that the hills rise on either side of you, to your left and to your right. There's like a hill crest over here. The water would flow in between hills. It follows the lowest route, so you're in a little bit of a ravine. but it's dry except for the water that doesn't get far enough.
Okay, I'll follow Cassian's lead then and also step aside.
Now, when you say step aside, are you moving all the way to the cliff face that you can't see in the cave? Or are you just moving out of direct forward? Because from where you are, you could still see in, right?
Yeah, I was
Moving out
here,
of the direct
so I'm
forward.
moving out of direct forward, and then my next turn will be moving in
Okay,
to like outside the cave.
got it. So you're circling around to get to the wall on the side of the cave.
That's my goal. Yeah.
Okay,
And I'm
and
talking.
little
I'll do
mini
the same on the
Steermere's
other
doing the
side.
same. And what about the other two members?
I think I would do the same, but on the other side. So like here.
Okay,
And then I'll get the Droll Razor.
Jolv Razor was born without fear, so he's going to approach the cave directly.
all right. The followers all just back the fuck up.
Yeah, I motion them to get out.
Okay, so Drolv Razor is the only one left in line of sight of the cave. The other two have gone to one side or the other. Okay.
Call out
You've
again.
called in, yeah, and there is a response to your call. It's, who are you? Why would I give you my precious water?
Fucking Porvin. My name is Cassian. I am from the Stormtide Kingdom. Me and my friends here are adventuring to Heatstroke, and on the journey, we seem to be running low-ish on water, and we wanted to grab it from the cave mouth. We sent our raven to make sure that there wasn't a bear. Instead, it seems we've found you, old-timer. We mean you no harm.
How do
Jolv
I
Razor
know
responds,
that?
I mean you harm.
I will kind of walk in front of the cave with my hands up, axe on my back.
Mm-hmm.
Just here for water, friend. What's your name? As I said, I'm Cassian.
You have armor and weapons. You look dangerous.
A dangerous journey to make it here. We went through the Badlands.
Stay
If it weren't
back.
for you, I will stay. He'll stand his ground, but he'll have his hands still up.
Mhm.
Calm down, friend. I'm not reaching for any weapons.
All she can see is your legs, though, right?
Legs
Yeah,
to
so the-
chest. You know, it's like 4.5 feet tall, so you're getting up to yay-ish.
We're just looking for water. What was your name again? You were about to tell me.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, I'm Cassian. Usually when I say that, people tell me their name.
Well, I don't trust you, Cassian.
Okay, how can we build trust here? We want your water. Do you want money? Food? Gems?
I want one of your people.
I can't give you that.
Just one of the small ones in the back.
Cypher will look over to the followers.
Jolv
Kinda
Razor will
look-
instinctively start reaching for mitts.
Mitz is
We're
a little
not-
bit far behind you now.
I'm not
I said-
giving away my friends and allies to some random
You don't
person in a
need them
cave.
all.
I say,
I
can
need
I say
everyone.
something to Cypher while this conversation's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just say, this sounds suspicious, like she's a witch or something. What's she gonna do, eat these people? We should be careful.
I
Jolv
do
Razor
need
will
all my
call out-
friends, actually, he'll say.
Jolv Razor will call out in Hobgoblin, are you hungry?
Aren't we all?
He understood the hobgoblin.
Mm-hmm. And she responded in common.
Jolv Razor will
Okay.
say, we have to feed her.
She's a hag.
What if we fed you an animal? Could we have water then?
Isn't that what I asked for?
He said one of my people.
People are animals.
I'll pull out
Um,
some rations and kind of kick it into the cave.
Roll
you still
Razor,
run?
ask her. We should find out if this is. Wait, it would be reasonable to expect that only a hobgoblin speaks hobgoblin, right?
It's
Pretty reasonable.
unlikely that anyone else would speak it, but not impossible. It's like a
Well,
bit of
I
a
do
curiosity.
kinda-
Yeah, like it's if,
Hobgoblin is similar to like ogre and goblin and all these. It's like a dialect of goblin. So
it's like if you run into someone speaking Japanese while you're in like the United States or Germany who's not from Japan. It's not
Yeah.
impossible, but it's just a little unusual. But I do want to ask Cassian something. You say you kick some rations in. Are you kicking him into the bright section of the light, the dim section of the light, or like into the darkness? Where do you put where are you throwing the rations?
I'm gonna be honest. Let's do it to a dice roll because Cassian didn't have a thought behind it. So we'll just do a 1 is the bright light, a 2 is the medium light, and a 3 is the darkness.
Okay.
Guess he kicks it into the bright light.
Okay.
Is that what you wanted? Food?
I didn't say food. I said give me one of your people.
Cassian will kind of back away at this point and go over here and just whisper to Steermere.
I'm on the other side.
Oh, well, he'll go on your side, sorry.
Yeah.
And whisper to you two, I guess. I don't think that we need water this bad. Let's just get out of here.
What is...
I also don't think we need water this bad.
Cassian will throw out a motion to the party to, like, come on, and then start, if it's cool with everybody, start walking this way.
Drollraiser will like hesitate, be like, no, we must feed her. She's a disciple of the Maw. She's hungry. She will give us a great boon.
I give Cypher a look, like, get your pet under control look.
She will give us a great boon.
If anything,
the tongue of hunger.
Anything, we should deal with her, not feed her. This is an evil creature if it's a hag.
And would you deal with me as well, Steermere? Am I also evil?
If that's a hag, then not the same as her. But you certainly have your moments, Drollraisers. At least you wait for people to be dead before you consume them.
How do you know she's a hag? She could be a deity, testing us. I believe it is the Maw in there. We should feed it.
I think this is not our place to meddle in. Say we leave the creature, the thing. We leave it alone and we continue on our way.
I see how it is.
You need your resources.
Your God
anyways,
says slaves are bad. Don't have slaves. Let the slaves go. My God says feed the hungry. Oh, we can't do that. We can't feed the hungry. We can't.
Drollraisers, your God is a hole in the ground. Mine is the stars in the sky and grants me magic.
Stop.
Drollraiser, like, crouches down looking at Steermere and says, "You'll be in a hole soon, old man."
Yeah, you keep sending your threats, Drollraisers.
Enough.
I'm still
Cypher,
waiting.
get your friend under control. We're leaving.
He's not. That's not for me to decide. I think we should leave. Rolfrazor, if you think we should feed her, I can see that this is pretty important to him. Listen, Steermere.
Yes.
If we came across a fellow cleric of yours and they needed help, very specifically, in a way that only you, as the cleric, could provide, you would want us to pause our journey to pursue this, correct?
I would, but that's not an accurate comparison.
Because you don't believe in the Maw, I understand.
Well, not even that. Drollraisers claims that any monster that eats its enemies is a disciple of the Maw. Not many clerics walk this land. Plenty of monsters do.
Drollraiser will kneel before the cave while these guys are talking and, like, whisper in Hobgoblin and say, "What do you want? What are you hungry for?" And he's trying to do it so where the party doesn't hear.
Yeah, we don't speak Hobgoblin.
Yeah, you don't have to whisper, right?
Mm.
Make me a perception check. Ooh,
Boom,
very
18.
good.
Nice.
You will get a whisper back. I'm just gonna DM you real quick here.
Okay.
Spicy.
Can I hear the whisper?
No,
Yeah,
you're off
you
on
do
the
speak
side.
up.
You're having a conversation with Steermere.
Cassian, my decision here is whether we can justify walking away and whether we shouldn't be morally obligated to kill this thing if it's what I think it is. Under no circumstances am I feeding it one of our people.
Absolutely. I
We
just
don't
think it's our
necessarily have
place
to feed it one
worry
of our
about this
people.
thing.
Drolv will whisper quietly back into the hall and say, "What will you give us?" In Hobgoblin.
He knows how to get it, Neil.
And what else?
It's the kind of thing you get a magic item for, I reckon.
A boon.
I think so. It's the thing you also lose a character for.
Yeah.
All of these DMs will be revealed today in the after show. Make sure to go to patreon.com/SaberDie and join under the Goblin tier to hear all this spicy hidden information in the after show we do after every episode.
Drolv will stand up and start walking towards the cleric.
Who?
The lady cleric.
Oh, she's a cleric, is she? Oh, Matt, okay.
Matt.
I mean, I watch until he...
Yeah, I watched
Yeah.
as well.
Cypher-
He'll say to her, "We don't have a choice. We have to feed her. We have
Cypher
to."
will talk to you in Hobgoblin for a second.
I'll reply.
I DM'd.
I see them both
I'll
talking to each
respond in
other in
I'll respond in
Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin. And I'll turn to the party and say, "We have to feed her."
Does he touch the cleric?
I say, "If we don't feed her, she'll kill us."
She's not going to kill us. We can just walk away, you fool.
I don't know if we can at this point. We
And we should
Let me
fight.
know your actions, by the way. Like, as you're doing things.
He's
Potato?
just approaching Matt, and he's talking to her like, "The maw calls you."
I'm walking towards them then.
Oh, yeah.
Mott will take a sort of a step back, and Ethan will sort of step in front of her a little. And Mott will say, "That's not important right now. I need to get to Heatstroke. I've been called by Martha, goddess of life and healing and creation."
The maw calls you also. It's
Later.
more important. No, now.
Later.
The
Drolv
whole
Razor,
party
we need
is
to
in
leave.
jeopardy. If you don't give her,
Cassian
we're in
speeds up his
jeopardy.
pace. We're not in
Cypher says
jeopardy,
another
we
thing in
just
Hobgoblin to Drolv.
Mitz and Ethan both stand in front of Mott while Austin gets the fuck out of the way.
leave. Cassian is hurrying.
Yeah, so I can see that. Well, so far we've kind of been out of initiative. There's
Drolv-
been some weird talking back and forth, but I think the situation, before you respond, is Drolv Razors is here, like right up close to these, while coming up from behind is not you, is you.
Yeah. I'm waiting where I am by the cave.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
not
still-
turning my back to the cave.
Got it.
Me neither.
I'm staying
Yeah.
where I am.
Got it. Okay.
Drolv Razor will say, he'll curse in Hobgoblin that Jan understands. Basically, like, "Fuck, I'm frustrated," and he'll return to the cave and he'll kneel in front of it again. If nobody stops him, and he'll say in Hobgoblin, like, "They won't listen," and then he'll take out a knife and he'll cut off his small pinky finger and throw it far into the cave. How much damage do I take for that?
You will permanently lose 1 off of your maximum HP.
Yeah, he does it.
Oh,
That's how much
brutal.
respect he gives whatever
And he
this thing
still
is.
casts spells without a pinky finger.
Yes, you
Yeah.
only need 1 hand for somatic components.
The pinky finger is the least useful thing. He'll toss it as far back into the cave as he can, and he'll just ask, like, "Let me live."
What the fuck is going on here?
Okay, Drolv Razor immediately stands up and leaves as fast as he can.
Hey,
After
what's in
you
that
hear,
cave?
You hear a noise from the cave, and he says,
Yeah,
"It's
we
the
all
maw.
start
We need to
leaving.
leave."
Mott,
Okay.
I want you to stay near
I
me
bargained
from
for
now
our
on.
lives. We need to leave now.
She nods her head enthusiastically, and the party
let's
gets
get
the
the
fuck
fuck
out.
Yeah, okay, I'll believe that.
All right.
As we're walking, Droll raises. Some things were said in heat there. What the fuck was in there?
That was the maw.
What do you mean it was the maw?
It was the maw, the manifestation of the maw on Earth. It was hungry. It demanded food, and we forsook it. It would have killed us. I bargained for our lives with my finger.
Has Stiermer told us about the gods coming to Earth or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stiermer, this was as important to Drolv Razor and as real to him as it was when your god came down to Earth.
Well, I'm a little bit taken aback, if I'm honest, Cypher. What was in the cave? I thought it was a hag or something.
Drolv Razor says it was the maw.
I think Cassian, for
Okay,
the viewers, is coming to the realization that at the end of this journey, he's probably going to have to put these two monstrous creatures down. in his mind. Like,
Sorry, just to go back to that last. I think after Cypher says that, I think I consider it for a moment. I say it. Okay, fair enough.
All right. Well, why don't we take our first break as the party continues traveling through the hills? And I think we are dousing any hope of a long rest before we get to Heatstroke.
Yeah.
As I think importantly, during the night as we rest, or wait, sorry, what's happening?
Let's do the night on the other side of our break.
Yeah, let's do the break. Okay.
See you then. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Lazarus expedition. Our party will continue their journey through the strap, but before they do, I think there's
Yes.
some words
So-
being changed.
So as some time passes and the party kind of goes along, and as everybody calms down, I will pull Drolv Razor. Cypher will pull Drolv Razor aside, a ways back from the party, but still.
I'll be with
With
Steermere
the-
and Mod at this point, too. We'll say some
Mhm.
words after.
Yeah. And so you will pretty clearly hear that Cypher is yelling at Drolv Razor. She's upset. And she will be talking to him in Hobgoblin. But you know how her Hobgoblin's not great. You know how sometimes children of bilingual parents will talk this mix of the two
Yes.
languages. They'll
Peach's
weave in
family
words
does
sometimes.
this all the time. Yeah.
Yes. So this will happen. So you will hear some words that are being said in common because Cypher doesn't know the words in Hobgoblin. You will hear the words years and years, think, important decisions, Julia, decision, chances. You'll also hear the name Drolv Razor said a lot. Cleric, Cassian, throw away, taking a second to think.
Drolv Razor takes this impassively. And he will kind of just... Drolv Razor is used to people not understanding his relationship with the Maw, and that he is impulsive and he's quick to act. And he knows he kind of fucked up here. He went full Hobgoblin, right? He went full evil. He was going to feed a cleric to an unknown creature without hesitation, which could have jeopardized his mission here. But he very simply replies to Cypher in plain English so everyone can hear it. And he just says, "You wouldn't understand."
While they're having this conversation, Cassian will kind of shoo Maud off and say, go hang out with Ethan for a minute. I'm going to talk to Steermere.
She will. They'll stay near Ethan, and Mitz will also be pretty close by. They'll take positions on either side of her while they walk, one kind of throwing a look over their shoulder behind them, the other keeping an eye in front.
Cassian will be looking straight forward, walking nonchalantly, and whisper to Steermere as he hears the yelling in the background. Steermere, I think after our mission, or maybe on a return journey, we might have to take them out.
It's a bit extreme, isn't it?
He was trying to feed our cleric to the person, the thing in the cave. Isn't it a bit extreme to think that these two monsters can be good?
Well, you've got to. I mean, look, I think we have to speak up with them separately. Cypher seems a lot more reasonable than Draw Raisers. But my take on this is that whatever was in that cave is powerful, and maybe there is more to this more thing than Draw Raisers understands. I suspect that whatever power he's referring to probably has another name that we might know it by, and his description of it as the Moor is just a primitive understanding, no offense meant. But faced with something of such power, when one has devotion to such an idea, I think it's expected that maybe rash, extreme decisions might be made. I think if Draw Raisers were alone, maybe you'd be right, but with Cypher to watch over his decision making, I'm not sure that he's done enough to be condemned to death.
Cypher even said that it's not her place. I hear her back there yelling at him now, but what about the slave interaction that we had?
I understand, but this land is riddled with slave drivers.
I think we need to not be so carefree and relaxed around them anymore. I think we need to have our guard up. What I told the elves before, I don't feel now. I don't trust them with my life.
Well, I don't trust them either. I mean, Draw Raisers tells me on the daily how often he thinks about eating my liver, so clearly some concern is warranted. But I think we need them for the temple. Let's just continue our journey, and we should speak again once it's complete.
But we need a word that if either of us utter, we know that the other one's in trouble, and we need to go on the attack against the monsters in our party.
Okay. What's the word?
How about the rare fruit from our own homeland, the coconut?
Okay. So, Cassian, I didn't know you when this journey started, and I may have had my feelings on a lot of you when we first landed here, but nothing to do with your titles or your position back home. But I've come to respect you for your leadership skills and your fighting ability. If I hear you say that word, I will act on your command. But I want you to know that if you don't have a good reason once the fight is over, I will be upset. But in the moment, I'll follow your lead.
I understand, and I will follow your lead as well.
All right, I think that warrants a handshake. I put a hand out to Cassian on that.
I handshake it, yeah.
All right.
Let's do a roll for how cool the handshake is. What do you think, Nick? D100?
It's D100. We'll both got to roll a D100, because if one of us gets 100, it's like one of those handshakes where someone's too
88.
powerful. Oh, no.
Cassian's doing it. Okay, not too bad.
I hold my own, but I come away
hold
like
your
shake my hand a little bit.
Yeah.
He's got that like zoomer handshake, which is just like one too many motions, and you've got that boomer handshake, and sort of.
Yeah.
It worked, but you didn't do all the right things at the right time.
I didn't, so I didn't get the whole. He's got a noble handshake. I just have a peasant's handshake.
Okay. Well, Steermere,
Yes.
give me a D100. The third day of travel through the hills.
Not another 5, please.
Oh, it's okay. I'm gonna roll a 36. Oh, baby. Oh.
I know.
3 and
give us
6
a
add up
magic
to
item.
9. So. Mate, do you remember? Do you remember the fucking 77 too? Oh my god. That was fucking insane.
I'm good at calling them. What can I say?
Yeah.
By the end of this day, it's hot. You're beyond the Shield Wall Mountains.
This
You're
is
at the
still
edge.
the first day. Yeah.
This is the third day of traveling through the
Third day.
hills.
So have we recovered some hit die?
Yes, you've recovered 3 hit dice.
Okay, I will spend another one then.
Excellent.
Okay, I'm now back up to full, and I'm on full hit die as well. All right, thank
Excellent.
Same.
The third day, by the end of the third day, you reach the end of the hills where they open up into what they call the Cinder Sands. It is a sandy desert that stretches on for as far as the eye can see. And if you travel east from here, you'll hit the coast, and you probably should be able to see the pyramid before you hit the coast. Hopefully.
Okay. So
I
just want you to know,
well, like here maybe.
The entire time we're traveling,
Oh my
Trollraiser
God.
keeps looking behind the party, apprehensively.
Yeah, and the entire time we're traveling, Mott is near Cassian, and Cassian is not talking to Trollraiser.
Is it fair to say, with the highest passive perception in the party of 14, that I will have noticed Trollraiser's acting like this? And I think it solidifies my mind that I can sort of understand where he was coming from. And I don't think Cypher knows much about the gods, but I think she sort of spoke to some truth a little bit where she was comparing it to how I would feel about the gods returning to Earth. And I can understand why Trollraiser's reacted to it so intensely. And the fact that he's checking over his shoulders, to me, gives credence to his story.
Mm-hmm. It'll be days across the sands. There is no turning back.
Yeah.
Once you start going, it makes less sense to turn back than it does to power forward. So if there's anything that you want, now is the chance. We can do a water check throughout the party. That's probably a good idea. Let's
Yeah,
see.
do we need to create water?
Oh, how many short rests did we get? Sorry, we got 3, right?
Three. Yeah.
Okay, let me restore some spell slots here.
Let's see. Everyone had 4 days of water when we left the river, so everyone's down to 1 day of water right now.
No shit. And how many days do we think it is across the desert? If we're uninterrupted.
You don't know. You have no idea. It could be 2 days. It could be a week. It could be if you get lost. If something happens, if the sand dunes are huge and hard to walk up and down.
So
Who knows?
we've got into this relying on me to create water then. Because if we only had 4 days of water when we left the river, we would never get into Heatstroke on that.
I think.
Well,
I
the
thought we
cave
had
offered us
originally
water.
enough water to get here, but it sounds like we didn't. So I
You'd
guess we
gotten
are
some
relying on
extra
you.
water, but you can only carry so much. And there was let's just see what's over here, and then you got over here, and then there was that thing, and now you're here, and maybe the opportunities you were hoping for did not materialize, and so now here we are.
Okay, well, I can create water. I say we go a day and see how much progress we make if we run into
How do
any
you
natural
create water?
sources.
What component do you need?
Just a drop of water.
Okay. Yeah, I say we go a day and see if we.
And you have a
Anything.
leather tarp that you're carrying with you that you can bury
Yeah.
in the sand, so you can
Yeah.
create. Yeah, perfect. How much water do you create with that spell?
10 gallons.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 8 people. So that will be like a 3/4 of a gallon in this environment. So you need about 6 gallons a day. You can create 10. So each day you can make just a little bit more water than you need for that day.
How many spells do you have of this?
4.
Is it a ritual cast?
No.
We also can store the other water
Mhm.
and other
Mhm.
skins and stuff. We'll
Yep.
be okay. Yeah.
Are there any cactus here? Anything like that? Anything we
No.
could maybe retrieve? Like
No.
shreds of water?
No, it is just rolling sands.
So for 2 spells, we get 3 days of water.
For 3 spells, you get 5 days of water.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a day here, so we have at least 6, 7.
Mhm.
6 days,
We have
yeah.
like a week. We have like a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll be okay.
Well, we need water once we're in Heatstroke if there's no wells.
All right, well, let's figure it out. Jamie, roll me a D100.
Gladly. What am I
100
looking
equals
for?
an
High or
oasis.
Low? High or low? What do you
I
want?
don't know what you want. What do you want?
I want as low as possible. There we go. 37.
All right. Jan, roll me a D100. Second day through the desert. It's hot. It's sandy. When the wind picks up, it like peppers your
26.
skin. Still no encounters.
Just how Cypher likes it.
MrMouton, you find that you're wearing half plate, and it's too much in this weather. You are beginning to lag behind. Your half plate can be turned into a breastplate, which you can wear without too much. Like, it's still suffering, but you can manage it if you just discard the other parts of it and leave it behind.
I don't have to leave them behind, right? I can put them in my bag.
I don't know. How much space do you have in your bag? Like, armor is bulky, right? It doesn't collapse. It doesn't fold in on itself. It's messy, and it's heavy, and it's hot.
I got a net. I got a healing potion. I got a crowbar. I got a prism. I got a tinderbox, a knife, and an axe.
I mean, you could use the net to drag it behind you, maybe. Neil, am I having the same?
You don't want to.
Because I'm
No,
in.
what are you in? Are you in a breastplate?
No, I'm in splint mail.
Ring mail.
Oh, yeah, your
Ring
splint
mail.
mail. Your ring mail is going to be a problem.
Yeah,
well.
big problem. I don't know what I can do, so I'm gonna have no spells and 9 AC.
You're going to have to discard it. Yeah. You don't want to drag it behind you. That's way more effort than walking. It'll slow you down. You'll fall behind, or the whole party will slow.
I'm gonna put it in my backpack. Should be fine.
Does Matt or Mitz or Ethan have space in their backpack to carry my armor?
No.
Can Matt create water also?
No.
How much is how much is breastplate AC then?
It's one less.
Okay, so I'm at 15 AC.
Yeah. The ring mail is bulky. That's the problem, is that it doesn't fit in a bag. It fits on a person, but it's too stiff. You literally can't bag it. You need a wagon or a cart or something more appropriate for this, but it doesn't go into a backpack.
We can't pull it with the net.
You ever seen Better Call Saul? Remember when they're walking through the
Yes.
desert and Saul's trying to drag the money?
Great episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic episode.
Yeah,
but,
and it's slowing them down and eventually rips. But imagine doing that, but you're like climbing up a sand dune and the sand like builds up alongside the armor and sinks into it. And then all of a sudden you're dragging not the weight of your armor, you're dragging the weight of that armor plus 20 more pounds of sand. You can
What's a
do
net?
it if you want, but you'll
So-
slow the whole party.
Could we cut down? Could we like modify the splint mail to just protect his chest and make like an improvised breastplate?
Well, the ring mail is essentially leather armor with rings studded on it. I think maybe I'm mixing this up.
It's heavy
Yeah,
armor, though, right? It's not medium.
It's heavy armor, yeah.
It's heavy armor. Yeah, and so you would need to sit with an appropriate tool for cutting through leather. And that's not a sword or an axe. That's like a specialty carving tool. And then it's also already got all this iron like attached to it, grommeted onto it, so you can't modify it in the field. There's no way. You'd never get it done. You'd sit here for days trying to get it, and you'd ruin your gear in the process.
Just before I throw this away, I just want to check, right? We can't carry it or take it with us. I can't wear it.
Yeah.
And I can't drag it behind me.
Yeah.
Could I create a find familiar that could carry it? I have one casting left. Make like a big dog or something.
No.
What about like Tensor's floating disc?
It won't last long enough, will it? Unless you
Won't last long
can
enough.
ritual cast it.
You can. You can.
Don't think I have that spell. I would have to learn it from Roy.
No,
Okay.
we can't do that.
Why can't he carry it? Take turns carrying it, or like our minions, literally.
It's like walking through the heat of the desert is a hard enough task on its own. The ring mail isn't like a small thing that you can put in your pocket. It's a big bulky thing, so you'd have to like haul it over your shoulder, and that's just awkward and uncomfortable. Wearing it on your body when you're walking normally is fine. It displaces the weight evenly, but it's like, if you've got a this is a great example. This fan right here that I've got in my hand doesn't actually weigh a ton. It's like, I don't know, 10, 15 pounds with the battery. It's not a lot of weight. but because you have to carry it in your hands, it's like awkward and it's weighing on you and it's dragging you down, and it's just difficult to carry an awkwardly shaped thing with moderate weight in your arms all day up and down hills. You know, it's second edition uses the concept of encumbrance instead of weight, and you can have something with a higher encumbrance than its weight because of its awkwardness.
Okay.
And in this situation, that's what we're facing, is that armor is awkward. Chainmail, the reason chainmail is like one of the great weapon tools of warfare is because it collapses down in on itself into like just a little sack, really easy to transport, and you can move it from person to person to person, and then it'll fit anyone because it drapes and dangles, whereas like these bulkier things have to be sort of be fitted to you, and then when you take them off, they take up a shit ton of space. Chainmail's not the greatest defensive armor, it's just like super practical for logistical reasons. So the ring mail will have to be discarded. The rest of your
one last option. If we have like a tarp or a cloak or something with the armor on it that's carried between two people, would that be possible?
Do you have any of these
for
things?
water?
We do have a tarp.
Well, we've got cloaks, I mean.
Yeah, your leather tarp. We'd make a die roll, and then essentially the party would begin to fall behind and have to choose to discard it, or it would work out conveniently. But I think when you're going up and down sand dunes, carrying things on a tarp between the two of you doesn't work well because you're now at an incline. You know, traveling through the desert is hard work. It's difficult. It is logistically challenging. Entire armies have traveled into a desert and disappeared, never to come back out alive. Like legitimate Roman legions have walked into deserts and never come back, not because they were hacked to bits, but because the logistics of traveling through them are incredibly difficult.
Okay, well, listen, I mean, I'm throwing it away then, it sounds like, party. Does anyone else have any other ideas? Because
No, I think we should leave it to a die roll. It's either fine or it's not, and then we throw it away.
I'm done with rolling the dice. Yep.
What's the consequence of failing die roll?
You will end up spending more time walking with it before you decide to discard it. It's going to be we're going to try and muscle through this awkward situation. And then eventually you're like, okay, we've been doing this. Our rate has been slowed. We're not making the progress we wanted. It's taking us twice as long.
Yeah, let's roll.
Okay, so we'll try and use the tarp and carry it between two people, and we can switch the people carrying it if the people get tired.
Okay, give me, I want two of you to make me a D20 plus 1 roll, and you both need 14s or higher.
Moot
Oh my
and
God, you're
Nick.
crazy.
Me?
Yeah, I failed.
No.
Well, we can already.
No.
We
No.
noticed pretty quickly.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
No, the worse roll, the slower it takes you to notice. That's the problem.
Okay, well, we drop it eventually.
Okay, so our desert trip will be increased by a few days.
A few days? Because we were carrying 20 pounds of weight.
Because you're slowing your rate of movement, right? One person who is slowing down the party slows the whole rate of party progression.
Okay, it depends. If it's a 10-day journey, then 2 days isn't that bad. If it's a 3-day journey and you're increasing it by 2 days, that seems a lot. But I'll leave it
If you
to
cut
you
your
to-
speed in half and you travel for
Yeah.
a day like that, then you've just, increased your movement rate by, I guess not by
You've
half
lost
day.
half a day.
Yeah. So maybe it's only a half a day, maybe it's a day.
Okay, see?
It's a pain.
We just saved ourselves.
Nice.
Yeah, we just, whew.
Yeah.
Good lawyering, Nick.
Thank you. Maybe I'll... Yeah, all right. All right, well, good. I've got 11 AC. At least we've not had to fight any monsters, but I'm about to spend my spell slots on water, I think.
Yep. Can I get a D100 from Nick?
Don't fuck this one.
I only rolled 43.
43.
Excellent. So this is our third day in the desert. Nick, you've had to expend 1 drinking water.
none.
Yesterday, you
none.
should have had to.
Okay.
If
all
this
right,
is our
I'll do
third
that.
day in the desert, then on the second day, you would have had to cast a spell. That would have given you 10 gallons. You drink 6. Midway through today, you'll need another 10 gallons, which will bring you to 16. I'm sorry, which will bring you to 14. And then you will drink 6, leaving you with 8 left on your third
Okay, so
day.
that's another day, yeah.
At night, In the tiny hut, Dwarf Razor will take sand in his hand and pass it between each hand, and then like look down into the sand and just keep saying she's down there.
Yes. Next person, I think, is MrMouton. Give me a D100 on your 4th day of journey.
There you go.
Excellent. Still no sight of man nor beast on day 4.
Good.
You have 8 gallons. You can drink down to 2 this day.
Mhm.
You haven't seen anything or anyone in almost a week now. The mountains are still visible off in the distance. The skies are clear. The sun's rays are intense and beating down on you. Are there any thoughts in the party that should be shared? Any hopes, dreams, fears, pains?
Dwarf Razor
Cypher's
is
been-
considering making a phantom steed and getting the hell out of here if we don't see the town soon. Does my raven? By the way, I used my last casting of Find Familiar. Does my raven see anything?
No, your raven can fly up to 100 feet in the air and, well, give me a perception check with your raven. It can get some good height.
Yeah.
Here we go.
5.
It's too windy.
The sands are blowing. The wind, as I mentioned before, kicks sand up and it like grates against your skin. It sort of acts as like, a sand blaster, a sandpaper on you. And your raven has trouble taking flight and getting anywhere and has to sort of like perch on your shoulder.
Stupid raven. And I
Give me
considered
another
eating
raven check on day 5.
it. 12.
Yes. Nick, you're going to have to cast another on day 5.
Okay.
But here, on this day, the winds you find a slow spot in the winds, and the raven can peek up, and it can see out in the distance, there's fog. Lots and lots of fog, like a huge bank of fog that blankets for as far as the eye can see. Maybe 6 miles from you.
Dwarf Razor will point this out. He'll tell the party there's a bank of fog. It's to our east, right?
Yes.
He'll describe the fog to the party.
There's
Got it.
fog, there's water, right?
When a wizard
Say that to the
casts fog-
Chileans.
Just so you know, Nick, you can cast the Create Water at a higher level. I don't know if you'd want to get rid of a second level spell slot or anything like that instead of 2 first. Just heads up.
Yeah, I'd rather keep the first level spell slot, I think. Plus, like, how much water can the top really hold? Maybe like
Hold.
20,
Mhm.
20 gallons might be pushing it.
Yeah.
Hang on, sorry.
Yeah, I think that we continue on.
Okay. This evening, you will rest at the edge of the bank of fog. You'll push yourself a little bit later, getting all the way into it, so it's nice and cool. The sun is no longer shining on you. You can still sleep in your little sand pits everywhere. Did someone roll? No. Jamie, roll me a D100.
Gladly. Boom.
Does your
18.
god say anything about what this is?
I'm a Tempest cleric. Neil, can I judge its naturalness?
Give me an Arcana check.
Can I talk you into an insight check?
Absolutely not.
Okay, I'll meet you in the middle and say insight. Medicine.
Arcana. Thank you.
Okay, I guess 6.
No.
What about
No.
Mott?
Let me see your character sheet. Mott will do a 14. She says that this seems like natural fog to her.
Good.
And can I get everybody in the party to roll me a D100 together as a group?
So everybody rolls 1 D100.
Yeah, everyone rolls me a D100. Lowest is worst.
Cool.
Based. We need 2 more
I-
D100s.
I want low. Okay, listen. Boom. Damn it.
Oh, we're gonna beat your number, Koibu.
All right,
Nice.
Steermere,
Wait.
you are the lowest.
Steermere.
Mm-hmm.
You die.
You
Cool.
suffer an attack by a snake curled up in the sand that you happen to be walking past that you do not see, but it reaches out with its fangs to bite at you. A 22 will do. You'll take 1 point of damage and make me a Constitution saving throw.
Steerman calls out, ah!
Yeah. 13.
That's a pass. You will take 3 poison damage and suffer no other ill effects. Very lucky, Steermere.
In the future, Koibu, I think you should roll that in private and then not tell him if it's pass or save, because I really think that we should have used my potion of poison resistance here.
That's probably a clever
I
idea.
think Cassian would even do it anyways, unless one of you have a spell for poison stuff.
No.
Because you just got bit by a snake.
That is like the
Yeah.
one scenario where a potion of poison resistance would be used. Yeah.
But is potion of poison... Well, I hang on. I might know this. Is potion of poison resistance something you have to drink before you're poisoned or after?
It gives you resistance to poison damage. So you would have to have it before you take the damage. That doesn't mean that the poison isn't going to keep affecting you over and over and over again. Like maybe it's a chaining reaction. But with the duration of the potion isn't...
Yeah. Well, I'm
Super
I
long.
have high medicine.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would be able to. I don't drink the potion straight away.
Okay.
I feel like I'd be able to
you
watch
have it.
the
I hand
wound.
it to you.
Yeah, I think I'd be able to watch the wound and work out whether it was spreading or not. Like, when you see people who've been bit by
Did I
snakes,
see the
you can see
snake?
like black going
Jolfers
through
would
their
like to eat
veins.
the snake as well. Yeah.
would
Hold
you
on.
both make me perception checks?
Yes.
My bird is helping. Do I get advantage?
You can use yourself or the bird. You want to look right now before the snake hides itself. Pick one.
Perfect. I'll look right now. Boom.
No. With the 15... no, neither of you will see this. You know where he was standing, but when he got bit, he moved, sands shifted. Whatever snake it is an expert at hiding, and it's just buried, lying under the sand, probably blending in with it.
Okay. I probably wouldn't have been able to identify it anyway.
Yeah,
They
but I
escaped.
keep an eye on the wound, Neil, to determine whether it's spreading or not or getting worse.
Yeah. Well, this is where you're making camp for the night. You were in the process of making camp when you were bit. So I guess we camp here, or are you going to move the whole camp away from where the snake was?
Fucking snakes everywhere, mate. Might as well just chill here.
Excellent. Jamie, give me another D100.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
This is for how many snakes attack us?
Boom.
No, we're
27.
good.
That's a lot
When
of
you
snakes.
wake up in the morning, fog has lifted, and on the horizon is the Great Pyramid of Heatstroke. You can see its pointy tip just over the next dune, and in your eagerness to scramble up and see what is there, you scale the dunes before camp is broken, and you can behold a pyramid. Around the pyramid, at a great distance, is a wall that looks like it once wrapped around a city. The pyramid is not at the center of the wall, but within that is just sandy dunes everywhere else. The wall is not fully intact. It's broken in many places. Its gate, at least one of its gates, is still standing. Sand has piled up against it, so even if you didn't want to go in through the gate, you could scale a dune that goes up against the wall and drop down over the other side.
All right. Well, I think we just walk towards it. Finally, the end of our journey is in sight.
Yeah.
And I secretly hope for some water when we get there.
Agreed.
Well, the party will arrive at the Great Pyramid of Heatstroke, your final destination
Does it
on
look
this
beautiful?
quest. That's a very subjective statement. Like, in one sense, it is a grand and majestic structure. It is massive, and there is beauty in the size and scale and craftsmanship of it. On the
It's
other hand,
probably the biggest building we've all ever seen.
Well, we've seen
right?
another
Oh.
pyramid back in the other place. Is this a bigger pyramid?
far larger. Yes.
Far larger. Okay.
Far larger. Yes.
Is it bigger than King Arnold's keep?
Yes.
Okay. So it probably is the biggest building we've ever seen then.
Yes. Yes. By far.
Does the pyramid look like it's in pretty good shape, or does it look crumbling?
No,
Like, does
it
look
looks
like it's weathered?
worn. The sides of it. I mean, you're not close enough to really make out any details, but it doesn't look super crisp. You know, it looks like it's seen weathering and it's seen wear and tear. And you think there might be some like blackened marks across it that might indicate fire has been rested against it. Or it might just be like a trick of the eye and the way that the shadows are playing. Like it's kind of near this one sand dune. So maybe it's like the multiple shadows are making that happen, or maybe there's water on that section because it was foggy. It's hard to tell exactly what the details are, but it definitely doesn't look crisp and shiny and new. It's massive. It's gargantuan. But it feels older than any. I mean, the world's not that old. It's only the Age of Heroes, but this feels like it's been
Old.
here. Yeah, this predates everything.
This is where the Maw came down to the world.
Is that true?
Didn't all the gods come down here? Is that not what they say?
I'm not sure. The stories are murky from that time.
I'm sure having trouble believing that men built this.
Men didn't build this. This was built by the gods.
Men couldn't build this. Look at the size of it.
A dwarf could.
Hobgoblins could build it.
A dwarf couldn't. They could barely even reach, like, the first stone.
would you-
Hobgoblins couldn't build this. This is obviously above your pay grade. A dwarf, though, he says, provoking Drollraiser a little bit. A dwarf definitely could.
Dwarves can barely build tunnels under the mountains.
How do you want to get into the city? There's a gate. There are sand dunes that rest up against the walls. And there's some areas where the walls look like they have been broken down. And you don't need to climb a sand dune. And it would be easier just to walk in.
This is a
Whichever
holy city.
area has the most snakes, probably.
This is a holy city. I think that Cassian will say, I think we go through the gate. It's a holy city. I don't want to transpose.
respectful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
We're not
I
fucking
agree.
burglars.
Should we try to make our presence known at the gate? What if someone's here? Maybe someone's still guarding the gate. Maybe someone is here, and they would appreciate if we knocked.
Well, I could announce us to the gods as we enter, if you'd like.
I would like that. Mott?
And maybe
does that sound
Drollraiser could
reasonable?
announce us to the Maw as well.
Drollraiser literally was throwing his head back and throwing his arms out and asking that they may be eaten upon this day.
I'll look to
This-
Mott. Mott, does that sound reasonable with you?
Yes, she says, tired, exhausted from the hike, the journey.
I'll give her like a... I'll put my shoulder around her and kind of like help her.
Mhm.
Not in a weird way. In a very caring way.
Yeah, no, it's been a tough time, and there's this person walking behind her that might have just been trying to kill her last week. So there's a little bit of a tension and exhaustion happening. Mott will get to the gates with the rest of you and look to the party. I never really did learn how this party identifies itself.
We're the Iron Goods. But at some point, like on the walk up to here, Drollraiser is going to walk really close to Cassian and say to him, Slayer of Cassius. Says, I've noticed your mood has changed. Just want you to remember something. You need me to get back, but I don't need you to get back. So just think about that when you're sleeping in the desert without a hut.
My mood has changed because you tried to kill our cleric. I'm not so friendly with you anymore, but I don't consider you my enemy just yet.
I didn't
Gives
try
you
to
a
kill her.
smile.
I'm worried your heart isn't as friendly as it used to be. And then Drollraiser will walk away.
How was that?
Let me know when we get to the gates now.
You're at the gates.
Okay. I halt the party and take a few steps forward, and I just consider where we are and how far we've come to get to this point. I look at the
sorry,
top of the
Nick.
pyramid. Yeah, go ahead.
As you're doing this, I'll kind of kick Drawlvrazers forward and say, "Go, you're one of them."
Yeah, he'll go forward and he'll
In a nice way.
pray to the maw.
Sorry, Nick.
I say, I speak now addressing the gods. To those of you still in the celestial plane, and those of you now walking this very earth, my name is Sturmir from the continent of Solemn. I am here with my party representing the interests of the Stormtide Kingdom in a quest to bring holy magic and return good King Darnold to the lands of the living. We enter this city with respect after a long journey and many hardships. We do not wish to steal, only wish to take what is necessary for our journey and to ensure the best outcome for the humanoid races that walk this land. If we do not have your blessing, please give us a sign.
The gates stand open much as they were before. Small gust of wind picks up a little piece of sand and blows it around, but dies down shortly thereafter. It's hot and it's still. And beyond the pyramid and beyond the walls, beyond the sea, you can see a bank of fog slowly coalescing over the ocean.
I nod, and before turning around and giving the party the okay, I take a bit of sand in my hand and close my eyes and say a quick prayer to Martha, saying, Mother Martha, bless us with the food and water we need to survive our journey, and bless us with the courage to do what we must to be successful. And then I'll blow the sand into the desert and turn around and say, okay, I think that means we're okay to go ahead. I'll go first.
Drawlvrazer will put a hand on Steermere and say, "You're an armored old man. I'll walk ahead."
I'm about to say something that I'd regret, and instead I consider myself and I say, Drawlvrazers, this is important to me to be the first one in here, if you don't mind.
Okay. Can I be right behind you?
Of course.
Okay. I'll be right behind Steermere.
Okay.
I don't draw a
will
weapon
be-
or anything like that. I just walk in.
I would like to walk in the back and just kind of be on the lookout behind us, be extra careful, look into alleys that we might pass, and be on alert because this place is creeping me out.
The walls here within the town are still adorned with the signs that they were when this town was alive and thriving. You can see painted signs, mosaics depicting people and animals and dogs and all walks of life. You can see the casual graffiti of dicks and tits that people leave wherever they go
Nice.
throughout history.
Oh, is that Superman S there too? The
Oh yeah, that's
Cool
got to be
S.
there.
It's definitely there. Yeah, it's all there. And while the sand has built up around the walls and there is some sand scattered throughout the city, some buildings actually are fully covered. Most of it appears not to be. The walkway from the gates to the pyramid is fairly clear. There's a road that leads that way. It's not swept of sand, but it is pretty easy. But so bright and vibrant are the remaining colors painted on the walls and in the houses that this feels like a lived-in city where everyone just happens to be somewhere else right now at like some festival or something. Like you can, you get the impression that it's active. I mean, there's not like stuff out, right? If you look into a house, there might be a table, but the chairs are like knocked over and there's no food. Maybe there's some broken crockery on the ground or whatnot. But it definitely gives you the vibe of a once thriving, happy, prosperous place that you've just barely missed.
I am on a lookout for a well.
Yeah. You will find one. after not too long. The road will go through a market square, in the center of which is a fountain, and beside the fountain is a well. And when you get to it, though, it is just a shaft with a pit. There is no rope. There is no bucket. How you would get water from the bottom of this well, I do not know.
I will throw something into the well to hear if there is water.
What do you throw?
Coin.
Like a stone or a coin, yeah.
Yeah, you can toss a coin. You don't hear the sound of splashing.
Do I hear it hit the ground?
No.
Drawbridge will
the-
take out rope and throw it down and let almost the entirety of the rope go down and then pull it back up to see if the end is wet.
It is not.
I'll toss a platinum into the fountain and make a wish.
The fountain, if I wasn't clear, is just dry right now.
I collect the platinum from the fountain. No, not really.
I do toss a platinum into the well.
DM me your wish, please.
Yes.
Oh, come on, Neil. Don't give me that.
Hey,
give me a minute to
don't
do
be
my wish.
jealous
We'll
that he
continue
thought
on.
of it.
Bollocks that gets a wish for that. Okay, I say maybe this well is dry. Hopefully there's another one.
There you go.
Okay.
This land is intentionally dead. Crabman.
Um,
As Raw Razor forgot your name again.
I do have a plan here, though. If we could long rest here, I could change my spell list and I could purify seawater. And that is a ritual. So if we can get 7 days, and I think I have enough spell slots left to make 7 days worth of water.
But food. We didn't
Yeah, so
talk about food.
Yeah,
You've been
but
traveling
I'm-
through the desert for 6 days, and then it was through the grasslands and the hills for another 6 days before that. That's when you left the elves when they were providing with some extra food. It's been 12 days. So you probably have only 2 or 3 days left of food, depending on how well you've been storing it.
I think
Pray to
that
the
we
gods,
might be able to find food here. People will have stores of dried foods. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in the city there's beans, lentils, things like that
Honey
that we
keeps
could
forever,
eat.
yeah.
So I'm saying that I think that if there's no water, if there's no fresh water, then I actually think that is what we've got to do, because if we don't want to be in a rush. Like, we'll never make it to the other side of the desert back. Even if we get
agree.
the scroll, we'll die. So we need some way of water here.
But I think that we would just check the pyramid first, right? Because that's where all the shit would be. We're here for the
Oh.
thing.
Not necessarily.
We're
You don't think
probably
they would-
hoping for a god's miracle at some level.
Well, I don't think so. I think we could find food here, probably dried foods. I could make enough water for us to rest. Doesn't seem to be any monsters here. That way I could get my spells back, and I could then have us a permanent supply of water.
Does purifying seawater make drinkable water?
All non-magical food and drink within a 5-foot radius sphere centered on a point of your choice is purified and rendered free of poison and disease. Maybe not then, Neil. Do you want to make
Salt
a
is a
call on that?
poison.
I don't think it would turn salt water into fresh water.
It would turn like scummy poop water into drinkable water, right?
Yeah, it would turn like piss into drinkable water.
Well, what's the difference with fresh
I have
water
a
with
bucket
piss
of
in it
piss
and
on
fresh
my back.
water with
Well,
salt in
because
it?
acting.
there are plenty of creatures that live in the sea, and this is a purify. So if you cast it in the ocean, like, you would kill the creatures who are living on it. You know?
Okay,
It's-
but we could recycle our urine then with it.
Yeah, but that's probably not gonna get us enough water to get back home, yeah?
that's
Might
true.
give us a day or two. Does Mott have purify water memorized?
That's a good point. Purify food and drink. It is a ritual.
Mott
doing still civic mode.
has purify. She does not have purify food and drink memorized or prepared.
Okay, well, I think we need to look for more wells then.
Mott asks if you want to go just see what the pyramid's about first. Like, we're here.
Okay.
We've been traveling
We
for
can-
so long.
Let's go, but it's not. I suspect it might not be safe, but let's go and check it out. Maybe it is.
This is
But
where the
let's-
gods want to test us. We'll either make it home or we won't. I think. And Razor gives out a big sigh and then looks Sturmir in the eyes. He says, "Any more screwing around, and we only lower our chances.
What do you mean screwing around?
We head to the thing.
Golf Razor won't answer.
Roll my eyes as he walks away. Okay, let's go and check out the temple, because if it's as easy as walking in and picking up the scroll, then the sooner we do it, the better, because we've got no water, so we might as well.
The pyramid has a front to it. The front faces the sea, and there is a set of steps that runs up it, and then there appears to be a singular doorway most of the way up. A fat, double-wide door.
Yeah, okay, well, I think
I'll
we
ask
walk up to
Mott and
that.
Steermere. Should we ask for permission to enter the pyramid as well?
When we
Mott
get to the
doesn't
door,
listen to you.
perhaps.
She ignores the conversation and begins ascending the steps.
I'll grab her as she tries to ascend.
Go ahead and give me an
Saving throw?
opposed athletics check.
Acrobatics.
She
Your
actively
athletics
tries to resist.
versus her, one of the two. She does. She tries to shake off his grip.
I put
16.
a hand on Cassian and say, leave her.
You do get a good grip on her
I
wrist,
hold
and
her
she
for a
cannot.
second, and then
Throws
he
a-
puts his hand on me and asks him to leave her, and I'll let her go.
Yeah, okay. I pick up, so I'm with Matt as we ascend.
We should go together, but I think we
Yeah.
can all go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll follow behind them.
Okay.
Golf Razor will mutter that we should have fed her to the maw.
Ostigan, Ethan, and Mitz mutter something about looking for dried beans, and they'll stay down below.
Meet us back here, I say as I ascend.
Hmm.
Look for water as well.
Most of the way up the pyramid, there is a landing, and this landing is the door frame. The door frame is open. The sun is already a little bit higher in the sky, so the sunlight doesn't shine into the door frame, but you can see in well enough. It looks maybe like 30 feet or so into the pyramid. There is a green carpet that runs down the middle and goes deeper in. And it looks like there are paintings on the walls that are still intact. Signs of a community, of a city with green trees surrounded by a forest. And those collection of people here holding water. There's a collection of people over here tending a shrine. There's a scene on a street with some folks doing ordinary things. Like there's one small person helping another put on a shoe. There's some people spilling out of a tavern singing. There's the signs of life and city activity painted on the walls. And inside the temple, inside the pyramid, the air is cool. You're protected from the sun. The rock holds a lot of heat and keeps the inside nice and cool. And Mott
As
will just
yeah, well,
begin
okay.
to walk.
I want to say something to Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, now that we're here, where does your calling take you? Deeper inside the temple? Is there a specific place you're going to?
She'll stop, maybe 5 feet in and turn around to face you. Say, we are here for our own reasons. I thank you for bringing me this far, but I feel compelled to enter. You don't have to come with me.
I understand. Are you exploring randomly, or is there somewhere you're going?
I don't know, but I must go.
Let us go with her.
Yeah, I'm trying to ask, is she compelled in a certain direction?
Seems like it.
I mean, there's one hallway, so
We follow her.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah, it's a straight shot.
All right. Well, yeah, we follow then.
She walks in. She does not cast light. She walks into the darkness without trying anything. Drolf
we
Razors
need light.
and Cypher can see in the dark fairly well. The rest of you, not so much. Mott seems to be otherwise absorbed in something and sort of ignores your calls for light.
Does anyone have a torch?
How about
I would,
someone
hurry,
brought
I would
torches?
hurry up here and probably
I
grab
have
her and
torches.
make her cast the spell.
I mean,
You have
I like
torches? All right.
I light a torch. Yeah.
Okay. I use my tinderbox to help you, and I'll grab a torch
Alright.
as well.
Droll
We
Razor,
go.
do you use a shield? Can you hold a torch?
I cannot. I use a shield.
I hurry after Neil.
All right.
And I can
I'm
see
not
in the
losing
dark
it.
anyway.
Okay. I sheathe my sword and carry my shield and torch.
Well, we're going to take a break here, and we'll be back in just a few minutes with the next section of the Lazarus expedition. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Lazarus expedition.
Something about that intro makes me feel we're about to die.
The party enters the pyramid. Now, before
Got
we
a map.
move,
And these monsters are smart, and they can see you're not wearing any armor, so they will all attack you.
yeah,
Attack.
Yeah.
way to ruin my grand reveal by using a funny voice.
Oh, grand reveal, the monsters attack Nick. Who saw that coming?
um,
But they do attack you.
Yeah, they do.
You are entering the pyramid. Two of you
I'm
stopped
catching up with her as
to
quickly as
light
possible.
torches. Mott ran ahead. The party, it sounds like, scurries to catch up with Mott.
Yeah.
And you can catch up pretty quickly because she's not gone that far ahead. You will come to a room, and you will see Mott is well.
Kneeling?
First off, there's a Sphinx, a living Sphinx. It's got the body of a lion with a, sort of like a semi-humanoid face and a big old, like, frilly crown-looking thing and a brass necklace around it and, like, human locks of golden hair. And it has long, furry wings as well. It's a Sphinx standing before you. Mott, you stopped to light a torch. You hurried the length of this hallway. You don't see Mott by the time you get here, but you do see there are exits. There's a door here and here and here and here and a hallway here.
I'm sorry. As we were lighting our torches, would the two with dark vision not go ahead?
Party did not specify that anything, and so if they took a moment to wait for you,
Yeah.
then it's there.
How is Matt reacting to the Sphinx?
She's not here.
Mott's not here.
Okay.
She's gone through one of these doors, or she's teleported, or the DM pulled some bullshit, and any of these
Is
things.
the
But
Sphinx moving, or is it?
it is staring at you. It's clearly alive. It's breathing. You can see its rib cage, moving with each breath, and its wings sort of lifting and settling as it gazes at you with its pale eyes.
I'll
And
say-
it's
Cassian, let me. I look to
I'd
him.
let you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
go.
I take a few. I step ahead of the party. Holy Guardian, I am a cleric of all of the gods. We're here to pay tribute to the gods and retrieve an item for a task which we have been assigned by the gods themselves. Can we travel beyond you?
You are here for the Scroll of Resurrection. Your coming has been foretold. Would you like
Well,
to
wise.
begin your trials now?
I turn around to Cassian. What do you think?
Give you a nod. Where did Mott go?
Look, thinking about my spell list, I say, yes, we are ready.
The Sphinx looks to Cassian.
I'm ready. Could you tell me where my friend went, though?
He looks to Drolv Razors.
Drolv Razor will look the beast straight in the eye. And there's just like a moment in his mind where he just wonders, like, I wonder what that would taste like. Before he says, this is my destiny.
And Sphinx looks to Cypher.
Let's get started.
Within this temple, are 8 clerics representing the 8 great gods. If you wish the Scroll of Resurrection, you must get the approval of 6 of the clerics within here. Beyond each door lies one. Behind me up the stairs is another room with another 4 doors. Each cleric will have a test for you and make a judgment for you. Additionally, I have questions for you.
Well,
Shall
ask
we-
your questions now then.
One question for one door. First question. Sphinx will prowl like a cat does, taking, a bit of a stretch with both legs, and then stepping forward and stretching the back legs, and then coming to a nice little settle right in front of you. For each one of you, philosophically, what makes one worthy of resurrection? And she'll turn her attention immediately to Cypher.
Cypher's gonna think. She's never thought about this.
Cypher doesn't have to
Um,
answer. She's just staring at Cypher the way a cat does, occasionally like licking its whiskers.
I turn around to confer with the party. And will say a combination of honesty, goodwill, and extraordinary ability to do good in the world.
I think someone who's done great things for the world and who was taken away before they could do many more.
I just want to clarify the phrasing of the question. Were they asking what makes one, as in like someone, or like me?
I think she means someone, anyone like,
She means someone as well.
yeah.
Okay. Well, obviously, Cypher is going to think about what she thinks the Sphinx wants to hear.
Trollraiser will like just say his instinctual answer, which is divinity.
Cassian will speak up and say, someone who has done great and was taken away too early for them to do even more.
Mm-hmm.
In the gap, I will expand on that then and say, yes, someone great who is good of heart, well-intentioned, faithful to the gods, and has a high capacity to do good in the world and make change. Someone who has the love of their subjects and of the people of their country. A great leader.
It's the first moment Cassian's heard Steermare talk good of his king.
Yeah, maybe.
I believe that all these things add up to a person who is destined to be resurrected. And I think those who are destined to come back from the dead shall.
All of us.
The Sphinx will nod and nod. Please, pick one of the doors.
Cassian will instinctually start walking towards this door.
Okay, let's go that way. I wonder if Matt already answered the questions and is in the doors themselves.
Huh.
She might be here for something else,
Maybe.
like another item.
I'll enter, if I can.
Yeah, the door is unlocked, and the party can go on through.
take one last look around. I look at the Sphinx one more time. Does she look back?
She does not. Nope. She watches you go in, but that's it. You will come to this room, and there is Mott standing behind
Easy,
an altar.
Nick.
Nice.
Hello,
Wait,
Mott.
she's one of the clerics.
Yep. This
Yes.
is an easy one. We got a freebie.
I'll turn to Steermere and say, are you not one of the clerics?
Mott, we found you.
She smiles. She looks still tired, still worn, but like her spirits have lifted, slightly more refreshed. And she will say to you, "Where has my music gone? Why has it stopped playing? Where?"
My theme.
Mott will look at the party. There is a test for you and a judgment for you. You have already completed my test. It was to get me here safely in one piece. That has been passed. And my judgment is to get to know you, to see each of you as individuals, to travel with you, and to ask myself if you are worthy of this great power. Her eyes will scan the 4 party members. 2 of you have always sought to help those with you. 1 of you tried to feed me to a voice in a cave. And 1, I still do not know. Not after months of travel do I know cipher. I've seen the leadership on display, and I think between Cassian's good guidance and Steermere's due diligence, the will of Martha shall be done. You have my approval. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mott.
Um,
It's been a pleasure traveling with you.
Thank you, Mott.
As a side note, how I just got in here. I've barely had time to get behind this altar. How did you get here so fast?
For a smile. I felt the gods taking me in that direction. Did you
I
know
guess it
all
was just
along,
meant to
Mott,
be.
that you would be here?
I understood what my role was going to be before I met you. Our meeting was no chance. I thought I made that clear.
Thank you,
I
Mott.
am-
It was a pleasure traveling with you.
My apologies for deceiving you.
It's understandable. Will you be returning with us
She shakes her head.
once this is done?
I don't think so. Maybe?
Well, if this is goodbye, Mott, it's been a pleasure traveling with you, and I'm glad to have met you. I step forward and offer a hand.
I step forward and offer a hand as well.
She will come around and give you a hug. Like a
Oh, okay. Nice.
And I'll say to Mott, maybe I'll see you in another life.
Smoochy, smoochy.
Give her a hug.
12
business
Razor will
smooches.
step forward and say, I tried to convince you to feed yourself. For clarity, I did not try to feed you.
I appreciate the clarity. And she walks away.
Well,
We go to the next room, I guess.
we shall continue with our journey. I hope to
Alright.
see you again someday.
The party, I'm assuming you just head back out
There
the same
were-
door you came in.
There were other doors
There,
in that room.
I shouldn't move your characters. There are 3 doors exiting here.
I will ask her before going through one. What are these other doors right here? I'll point to the 2. Do we need to go? Are they to other rooms?
Those parts of the pyramid are not relevant for the task at hand.
I nod.
We shouldn't push our luck.
No, we're
Let's go back to the Sphinx.
Thank you, Mount. We go back to the Sphinx.
Okay.
Draw Razor will glance at one of the doors with a little glint in his eye. There might be meat in there.
Neil,
Mm-hmm.
have I heard of sphinxes?
You have. These are sort of cat-like creatures of legend. They are quite powerful. They're, large creatures with big claws that can rip you to shreds, but they're also spellcasters. They are sort of divine in some way. Like they probably don't like breed and have cubs and have lairs and have social lives. They're always related to some sort of divine thing. They'll like come down and act as guardians for sacred treasures, or sometimes they can even be summoned from far away as a holy protector. Yeah. There's a bit of a vagary around what they are. Like some people refer to them as angels, even like they are the emissaries of the divine doing their business down here on Earth. Like they might show up and tap you
I
with
would
a
know
holy
this
quest.
creature is something I don't want to fuck with, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know how legends are. Everything is like the greatest something. Everyone's like the coolest son of a bitch, and you never should mess with any of these. How often are these stories true, though? Right? You could probably take it. It's only got 17 AC.
I think you should choose the next room.
Next question, says the Sphinx first. Why are you worthy to receive this scroll and use it?
Cypher-
Simply say, I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's us who are receiving the scroll, right? Sturmir and Cassian, not Cypher and Droll Razors.
Correct. Me and Drove Razors were picked out by the wisest and greatest Farseer in all this land. She believed that it was our destiny to come here and help these two to get this scroll.
By
I
all
trust-
accounts. Oh, sorry, yeah.
I trust in her. I trust in her foresight, and I trust in what she says is right.
You do not know, then, if you are worthy? You are just trusting the judgment of another?
I think everything can only come down to trust. I don't know if we can truly know, but if there's one thing that I trust the most, then it is the judgment of Julia Farseer.
When
Yes, yeah.
Cypher's finished, I'll say, by all accounts, we shouldn't be the ones standing here today. If measured by the will of our superiors back home, we wouldn't be considered worthy for this. I was merely the ship's cleric. Cassian here, merely a bodyguard. But by making it this far, by pushing forward in the most dire of circumstances when all hope seemed lost, with only the holy will of ourselves and the desire to see our quest done, have we pushed through insurmountable odds. We've lost companions along the way. We've made new friends. We've learned things about ourselves. We've learned things about our society back home. And purely by the fact that we are standing here today after facing such hardship, I would say that alone proves our worthiness.
Cassian, a little upset by this question, visibly, will say, I'm worthy because I've paid the price tenfold to Verasi by seeing all of my friends die on the ship and my two close companions die in front of me on the journey here. That's why I'm worthy.
Only one of you believes they are worthy of this power.
Not true. I consider myself worthy. for the reasons I gave.
I shall ponder upon this as you pick your next door.
I give the look to Cypher.
Cypher will immediately point at the, from our perspective, top left door.
This one?
Sorry, from the screen perspective. So this one.
Okay. Cassian will lead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trollraiser will linger in the
I can't
room.
get past. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I will move you through doors.
Yeah, Cassian goes. If Drover is lingering, that's life.
And he's lingering, but he's kind of walking towards the door, and he just kind of looks at the Sphinx and asks, "Am I worthy of the maw?"
I'm the one asking questions here, Hobgoblin.
He'll follow the party then, if he didn't get an answer.
She told.
There's a bit of a chuckle as you go through the door. Cassian.
Mm-hmm.
The party steps on through. I'm going to move you all because the whole party, I'm sure, is coming on through, but just as we step on through, you can see a cleric behind an altar and an ogre magi in the corner. The cleric behind the altar is a cleric of Verasi, an elf. And she looks at the party and says, "Enjoy your test." And
Let's
roll
go.
initiative.
Yeah.
Fucking go.
That's pretty base.
Yeah.
Is this the... I don't know if you can answer, I assume. Cassian's going to assume that this is the elf from the village that they heard about coming to the place.
They
Fucking
did
losers.
say that they sent an emissary. Do you remember what
Yeah.
god they said it was of?
I don't. I think
Well.
actually... I want to say it was Verasi because we were like, oh, elf had Verasi cleric. But
Well, we get Cone of Cold. We're all dead. GG.
Iron Grip the
Oh, he goes
Jailer
first.
will
Nice.
barely beat out the Ogre Magi.
Let me just think about... Okay, I know these are monstrous, so they're not humanoid, so hold person won't work. I'm going to cast... Yeah, I'm just going to haste. I'm going to haste Cassian. Boom.
Choose a creature. That creature is Cassian. Cassian is hasted. Do you have any movement?
Oh yeah, I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can I get to there? I'm getting close.
You can do that. That's
Yeah,
30
not a
feet.
problem.
Yeah.
The Oni will go. And you're right. Why would it do anything other than just cast Cone of Cold directly on the party? The con save is 13. Everyone in the party, roll me. Well, not everyone in the party. Everyone except for Drollraisers, roll me a DC 13 con save or take 33 damage. Ah, Steermere will fall unconscious. Classic Steermere.
Classic.
Start of the battle, KO'd.
Fuck up, move on.
16 damage to the remaining party members.
So that brings me to 32.
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, as I cast, can I use my bonus action to activate my arcane?
Oh, we're too late, buddy.
Damn, I forgot.
Yeah, you're
Not
on my
a-
turn, dog.
All right, Cassian Rin.
Yeah, you already know. I'm going here. I'm getting... Do I get advantage here, Koibu?
Nope.
Okay, cool. I'm going to... Fighting Spirit, which gives me advantage on this turn on all attacks. I also gain 5 temporary hit points. And I think I get 1, 2... I think I get 3 attacks this turn. Correct? Because I'm hasted.
You're hasted, and you've got your regular 2 attacks. Yep.
Okay. Here we go. Here is my Great Weapon Mastery attacks.
Oh, you fool. It has
advantage.
16 AC.
Don't care. Miss. Okay, that's one. Miss,
Double
that's two.
ones, 11.
And a miss
And
again.
12.
Getting them all out, and I'm action surging. Boop.
Oh.
So that gets me 2 or 3 more attacks.
Oh, that's a great question.
It's an additional action on each of its turns.
Okay, it's an
Action surge giving another turn.
If it's a regular ass action, I think it would get you 2 attacks, right? Because the haste specifically tells you can only take 1 attack with this.
On your
Whereas if
turn,
it's
you can
just
take 1 additional action on top of your regular actions, and a possible bonus action.
And I'm just gonna take a quick look at your character sheet, Cassian. If we put action surge here, no, yeah, you're getting an additional action. You're not getting an additional turn. So just 2 more
But
attacks.
I do still get 2 more attacks.
Yep.
Great Weapon Master, here you go. 11 and a 19.
19 will hit. 5 attacks. 1
At
hit.
advantage.
At advantage, it's really unlucky. 20 damage.
Boom.
All right.
Steer mirror. Death saving
saving
throw.
Give him a 20. No.
Cypher Quick Claw. Steer mirror is 1 failed death save, 1 natural 1 away from death. Are you going to bind his wounds? Or are you going to fight the monster? This could be Steer mirror's end here. He's gotten lucky so far.
I move up to fight. All right. First attack.
14 is a miss.
Second attack.
18 is a hit.
7. Action surge for 1 additional attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, you get 2 additional attacks. 'cause you're full.
Yes, 2 additional attacks. And then you also have your bonus action, which you haven't used yet.
24.
Hit for 6. Excellent.
16.
Hit
4.
4. Oof. God, you are rolling low on your dice today. Well, not that low. And you have a bonus action with an offhand.
Yes, offhand.
Another
Ooh,
hit
for 10.
10. Excellent.
Iron
Next round, Iron Grip the Jailer.
When I saw this thing cast Cone of Cold,
Yeah.
did I see it use verbal and somatic components?
You did. No material components, but it did use verbal and somatic.
I'm going to climb the Oni and stuff my fist in its mouth.
Base.
Okay.
You're going to climb...
I'm going to prevent it from doing the thing. I remember this thing has a mouth and it needs its mouth to cast spells, right?
Yes.
I want to put my fist in its mouth.
Athletics check to climb it, or acrobatics, right?
I'm going to
It's-
grab its tongue and just squeeze.
It's going to be an acrobatics or athletics to climb the Oni, and you're going to open yourself up to an attack of opportunity.
Super don't care.
Glaive attack. Natural 1.
Miss.
Miss. Go ahead and
I'm
give
gonna
me...
grab Athletics.
Or acrobatics,
fact-
whichever one's better.
Oh, I would have done acrobatics because it's +1, but I failed anyway. Fuck.
Would have been a fail either way. So you go to climb this creature. It takes a swing at you with its glaive. You duck under it. You go to climb it, and then like the Oni just shifts its weight, and you're like aiming for its
wait.
body, and it twists.
It rolled a natural 1 on the attack. Could I not argue that it rolled it in a way because it's a natural 1 that it left the arm hanging in a way that makes it easier to climb, therefore rolling an advantage to climb it?
True.
Did roll a natural 1.
True. Give me this. Let me grab its tongue.
I need some sort of die roll to determine
Give it
if
a
that
death
is.
saving throw for the Oni, right?
All right.
Give
All
him
right.
a bite attack on my hand. Let him bite me. Because that could break the haste if it hits.
Oh, you know exactly the sort of gamble to pull with me. Yes, fortune does favor you. The natural 1 can give you advantage. We're going to ignore the second acrobatics roll. Just roll me a second check.
All right, let's do it, boys.
Where you
I
can take the
stick my
first
hand.
number from this next thing. This is just to
Right,
climb
I'm
it,
doing
right? This is not
acrobatics.
acrobatics or athletics. This is just to get up on it, and then you'll use your action to do something.
11.
11. Yeah, you know what? It's a large creature. It's muscle bound. It's got clothes. I know that the picture of this one, it's the only magi I have, but it's not like a naked ogre standing in front of you. So it does have clothes that you can scramble up on. If it were a smaller person, I think it would be harder, but on a big thing like this, a big muscle bound Odie, 11 is good enough. All right, so you are scaling up this creature. It's already used its reaction to try and hit you with its glaive. And now you want to use your action to put a fist in its mouth. That is going to be an attack roll against its open mouth, an attack roll against the maw, some might say.
Right.
So you have to make me an attack roll against AC 14 to put your
Okay, I'll
hand
just-
in its mouth. But
Will I
it,
just use my shocking grasp?
it's going to
No,
be...
because that's spell modifier.
Yeah, it's going to be based on your strength or dex, whichever is higher.
Okay, I guess it'll be dex, so it'll be this. I'll just roll a raw d20, but it'll be
D20 plus 5 is what you need. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me get that up. D20.
You need a 14, right? Yeah.
All right, listen. I shove my hand to try and grab its tongue and just hold as hard as I can.
Yes.
Give me that tongue.
You put your hand inside the ogre's mouth and grab its tongue. It is the ogre's turn. It cannot cast spells. I will give it a free bite attack against you since your hand is literally inside its mouth.
That's great. Is it still AC 18?
It should get advantage.
It does have
Since you're not changing
advantage.
the-
Give him 18
Yeah.
AC, but give him.
I
Yeah,
will,
alright,
if you
fair.
have dex that goes into your AC, we'll take away the dex, but otherwise, yes, your armor still counts.
Yes, so I'd be AC.
Um, 25
He's-
is good
he's
enough
it.
either way.
Con check.
All right, con check. Here we go.
And you will
It's just
take-
a con.
You'll take 6 damage, and it's just a Constitution saving throw. You need a 10 or higher.
Boom.
Strong jaw.
Oh, natural 1. Concentration is broken. Haste is
Cassian
gone.
misses his next turn.
However, you are now... Oh, Cassian misses a turn.
Do not cast that spell on me again. You're gonna piss me off.
Oh, no. Cassian,
I mean,
your
again-
turn is just skipped.
It was even now. It was worth it. We already got a full turn of value out of the spell.
Yes,
You
roll
got
5
one
attacks, right?
attack. Yeah, you got one
Got
attack.
one
out of the
attack
spell.
and he loses a whole round of attacks.
And I lose a whole round.
Okay.
So I-
You
Yeah,
one
it's a
attack for
negative
2
one.
turns.
Spells.
Yeah. Trash.
Now,
Okay, no, that was
Steermere,
not
For
worth
this
it.
round.
buddy,
I'm not gonna roll a 1 now.
we're at the
17.
end. Oh my god, you didn't even give me time to prep it. What if it
Yeah.
had been a
Thank
1?
you. Every second you spoke made it more likely, so I just wanted to get it out there sooner rather than later.
Okay, so you're past 1 and failed 1.
Yep.
Cypher Quick Claw. Steermere's dying.
Yeah, fucking my attack.
17's a hit.
17, 5, 17 for 9. Offhand bonus action. 13 misses.
Miss. Ooh, the ogre.
Fucking grasp his ass.
The ogre. Actually, we skipped the ogre's turn. Somehow.
Well, you know.
It bit me, didn't it?
It bit him.
Oh, you get a
Yeah,
free
it bit
attack.
you, but it didn't get to finish its turn because we started
no.
talking about other stuff.
Was he
Oh,
casting a spell?
He was
spent
not
too long
going to
thinking,
cast a
maybe.
spell. He was just going to make a regular glaive attack. Oni's turn gains 10 HP. He's just going to make a glaive attack like you do.
Maybe he wants
Actually,
to throw it at me.
it's multi-attacking at Cassian, obviously.
Really? Not the guy in his fucking mouth.
Well, yeah, the guy on his mouth. The guy on his fucking mouth. It's
Oh,
the
I know,
person
it's
who
pretty
climbed
hard.
up his body.
Hard to attack someone who's on you with a glaive, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a little bit like.
I hope you roll a 1.
No, but it's
Really?
true.
With a
though.
glaive?
You're right.
is
No,
a
the
massive
glaive.
bear.
The glaive is a massive
massive
weapon.
thing,
It's
isn't
real. You're not gonna
Yeah.
swing it at your face. So, one-handing the glaive is going to make a claw attack to try and grapple. He's going to try and grapple Drawled Razors and pull him off of him. So it's going to be an athletics check by the Ogre Magi versus your athletics or acrobatics as it tries to grab you.
Does it have to hit?
Natural 20 on it. No. This is a shove, essentially. A shove or a grapple. They're all the same.
Hold on.
It nat 20'd its
You're
check
going-
to grab you on its face.
You're going flying, mate.
Yeah, it grabs
Hear me
you. What? What?
I don't have enough saving face to get me out of this. Fuck.
No, not even. So it just and just like tosses you across the room. You stumble over here, and it will then swing its claw because it makes 2 attacks either with its claws or its glaive. So it's just going to double up on the claw attack against Cassian, which is a 23 to hit Cassian for 7 points of damage.
Lucky
All right.
that he's attacking you and not Cypher, really.
That's good.
Iron Grip the Jailer. It is your turn. You've just been thrown across the room. Steermere is dying. Don't you need Steermere to get through this temple? Can you really just let him die?
Maybe it's what Verasi wants.
Yet. I will look at the Oni. The boys have got it, okay? Steermere's only rolled 1 death save, right?
2. I got 1 pass, 1 fail. 12 Razors pulls out his eating knife.
Twelve Race is
true.
thinking about that liver, man.
Yeah,
He's
keep going,
in
keep
on
fighting.
the Oni. I'm trying to think about what could I do spell-wise that could make a difference here. I really just have to stop this thing casting. Resolve Razor will let out a horrendous bellow and attempt to grab its tongue again, but with a shocking grasp it. Or should I just do damage?
Can't you hold it?
Hold it? What do you mean?
Like, you just hold him.
Get in the old grapple.
I can
What about-
grapple. He's only 1 size bigger than me.
Yep.
Can't you hold person?
You
He's
need
not
Hold
humanoid.
Monster.
Okay.
He's
That should have
humanoid,
been
but
my
he's just too
signature
big.
Ability. Hold Monster.
Yeah.
So, wild idea. What if I tried to get on his back to give Cassie an advantage? So
When
he's
you were on him
flanking.
already, I think I should get advantage because you're like
Mhm.
fucking grappled him.
It
So,
needs to be restrained to give him advantage, and he was only grappled.
Right. Let me think about this.
I think maybe you do want to save Sturmir. If we does Sturmir, fuck.
He's not going to roll a 1. It's a 5% chance. How often does that
6-second rounds.
Hurry!
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 I shock and grasp him as hard as I can.
Nice.
Jock and grasp him.
I'm clicking it.
Miss. The Oni will go. It's going to take its multi-attack. It's got its glaive. And it's going to take a slash in the direction of this Drolv Razor's fellow, who is climbing on its face. Whoosh! Natural 1 again. Whoosh! 20 to hit for 20 slashing damage.
Shit.
I'm cool with this.
Cassian Rin.
Fighting spiriting. These are at advantage, Koibu. 2 more attacks.
Are you still doing it though?
Of course I'm doing
You
it.
need a natural 15 to hit.
It's I think better.
All right.
Natural
21 critical
Nice.
hit.
Oh.
34 damage.
What the fuck,
kill?
man?
It does not.
It's not gonna
You get
kill.
a free attack though, right? Off a crit?
Yes.
Yes. So here's another one.
12 is miss.
Wait, was he meant to heal 10 on his turn?
Oh, yes.
Did.
Thank you.
Koibu did it.
Not
Oh,
the second turn. Thank you.
Here's another one. 20.
20's a hit.
Boom.
17.
Nice.
All right. That's your 3 attacks. You got an extra one because you critted. Steermere, buddy. You're 1 roll away from death. 2 passes.
You're good. You're good.
He's great. He's fine.
Cypher, Quick Claw.
Attack.
Natural 1.
Second attack.
18's a hit.
for 9.
It is not dead, but almost.
Offhand.
Yeah, I probably should, huh? No reason to second wind. Let's do it. 19
Hit.
Based.
for 10.
Fucking
And
hell,
that's
nice.
enough. That's enough.
go.
It drops down. Iron Grip the Jailer, it's your turn.
I celebrate the victory. And
Excellent.
hesitantly turn to Sturmir. And there's just a moment where I'm like, fuck, so close to getting that lever. But then I realize that Cassian's going to stop. So I run over and assist him. And I try to make a
Okay.
medicine check.
Medicine check. DC 10.
Boom.
Easy.
Is it my turn?
Yes, it is your turn.
I use my fucking torch to light the thing on fire.
Well, it doesn't go up in flames immediately. Like, it's flesh and clothes, and the
I
clothes
hold-
will
I hold my
burn,
torch
but
there. Yeah.
yeah, the smoke begins to billow up in the room a little bit, and the cleric goes,
You know what I'm doing.
you don't need to do that. It's not going to regenerate. It's dead. Excuse
Did we
me.
pass the trial?
You passed the trial, cleric. Please, we have to breathe in this room.
I'll stop.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Do you have any healing
Oh.
magic for us?
What do I look like? A cleric of Martha?
Well, I know which room the Cleric of Martha is in, but I don't think she'll heal us.
Well, bully for you. Now,
Are you
which
from,
one of you is Vasher?
Basher's dead.
Yeah.
What? I was specifically told the disciple of Lady Lazarus was here.
I have taken on his task. I am Cassian Rin, member of the expedition. That over
I
there,
am the
point to
disciple of the
Steermere.
Maw.
I point to Steermere, who's laying down. That is my. That is the only other surviving member of the expedition. Do you have something for me on behalf of Vasher?
She lets out a long sigh. Lady Lazarus has been Varasi's greatest paladin in a human age. It is Lady Lazarus who stayed the death. Well, who begged Varasi to stay the reaping of good King Arnold's soul, which began this expedition. I was to meet Lady Lazarus here, and when she perished, I was to meet her disciple. I was unaware that another had fallen.
Oh no. Well, you get to meet me now. My name's Cassian. I hold a hand out.
She will take your hand, but not in a shaking way, but she'll like take it from the other side and turn it so it's palm up, as if she reads your palm. And she will say, "You have felled many trees, even some oaks in your time."
Give her a slight nod. I've done wonders for Varasi, and she's taken much from me.
Yes. Well, you need not worry. Passing the test is enough here. Varasi has been on board with this concept since Lady Lazarus first begged her to spare good King Arnold's soul. That is for whom this scroll will be used, correct?
I nod.
She looks to the other two.
Cypher nods.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, Varasi is already with you. Take the... She motions rudely towards Steermere, who I should actually keep your death saves on.
I do a... Sorry, I do a second wind.
Mm-hmm.
11. Nice. Oh.
Well, the elf
What are in
will
these
sort of
rooms?
wave.
I point to the room.
She shrugs. Old chambers from a time before.
Oh no.
This pyramid was
Steermere.
once something great.
Okay. It's still the first place the gods touched. You were here. Mott's here doing great things. I'm sure that you can restore it one day.
There's no life left in the city. It is dead and shall be forevermore.
Do you know Violet? from, I say, the forest.
Violet is a common name. There are many of my people who go by that.
He'll look her in the eyes and say, "No, there's only one Violet." He'll pick up Steermere and leave.
Dragging Steermere out of the chamber, his flesh scraping across the ground. The party will arrive back at the chamber with the Sphinx.
I asked the Sphinx. I know you asked the questions, but there wouldn't be any chance that you or Mott could help with this.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Maybe
you
we'll
ready?
return to a room we have been in previously.
There's nothing in the rules about
A dog
Returning.
playing basketball.
May we return now? I ask.
There's nothing in the rules about it.
Oh.
Okay, then we'll start to walk towards the room,
Yep.
and
That's
we'll
funny.
enter and go see Mott if she's there.
Yep, she's still there. She is actually on the other side, kneeling before the statue in some sort of prayer, but turns when the party enters, dragging Steermere's bloody body behind them. Frozen body, chilled body, cool body,
Mott,
chiseled
help
body.
us one more time. I
She'll-
understand if you can't.
No, she will walk forward and lay hands upon Steermere.
She do like the big healing ring?
Can she use her healer kit?
She can use a healer's kit, right?
Yeah, she did like
Um,
Giga healing.
until between short rests. Yeah, so she can do 1d6 plus 4 plus what's your level 5?
Mhm.
Yeah,
So she will give Steermere 15. She will give Cipher 10, and she will give Cassian 14.
Didn't need it.
And then she will also drop some spells.
Wait,
Cipher,
she
your
refuses to heal Draw Razor?
yeah, she doesn't heal you, Draw Razors.
Fucking
Oh,
base.
Damn.
What do I? How much do I recover? Sorry.
You get 10.
Okay.
And
to
then
20
she will do a regular Cure Wounds, which is not rolling for some reason. 1d8 plus 4 plus
level?
Disciple of Life.
Is this on me?
2 plus, yeah,
Probably.
plus 3. This is for you, Steermere, another 13.
Awesome.
What does that bring you to?
28 out of 33.
Yeah, she'll leave you there.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Mott.
I quaff a potion of healing while staring at Mott.
She stares you right back down with icy eyes.
44
What are those, 44?
44
4.
plus 4.
Okay.
Boom, 12. I let out a loud burp.
And then she will come over and she will tap Cassian and drop a Shield of Faith on you. For 10 minutes, you have plus 2
17
AC.
AC.
Yeah.
Oh, am I able to put my full plate back on in here or no? Or my half plate back on? Or no?
No, I think the rest of the half plate got left in the desert with everyone else's stuff. It's bulky armor. It all got
That's
left
fine.
behind.
I'll allow that.
Thank you.
I say my thanks to Matt.
Yeah, I say my thanks, and hopefully we don't have to come see you again. I don't know if this is the last time, but
Well, I
It
have
is
very
then.
few spells, so let us hope.
we leave.
Okay.
Relief.
Back
Ask your
before
question, Angel.
the Sphinx. Why don't we take our final break? And we'll come back on the other side with some more save or
breaking
die.
Okay.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Lazarus expedition.
Ask us your question, Sphinx. Please. Does the Sphinx chuckle?
The Sphinx chuckles.
Good.
A scroll of resurrection is great power indeed. What shall your group do with such unimaginable strength?
We use it for good.
We will fulfill our
fulfill our
obligations
destiny.
and
We actually
resurrect.
said the exact same thing. That's insane.
Yeah.
And resurrect good King Arnold, as has been ordained and blessed by both Verassi and Martha.
Those were easy tests. You walked with one, the other was the beginning which would make this all possible. Do you really think the remaining 6 will be on your side? Can you even name the remaining 6, Cleric?
Esther, Nadinus, Malchus, Falumbra. How many is that?
Medina's
4.
Malchus.
Verassi, Malchus, Esther.
Did you name your god?
Verassi? He's not. I have a generalist god, so it's Verassi and Esther, and Malchus and Martha. That's 4. Then Falumbra. That's 5. So who are the other 3 major gods?
And you think that you're worthy of this power when you can't even name 8? The most important 8 gods?
Tempos. I mean, listen. Sturmir would know. Obviously, he would know. I can't remember the last 2 off the top of my head.
That's
It's
gotta
only
be an
been 8
insight check.
years.
It's gotta be
Tempest,
an insight check.
Illumis. There's one more.
No, you've done it. You've named them all now.
Oh,
Not in
yeah.
order. Yeah. That's it.
There you
That's
go.
it.
Yeah.
May we choose our next door then, Sphinx? He's named them all.
But you have not told me what you will do with this power. That one has, but the 2 of you, Cypher and Cassian Rin, what
I've
would
already
you
said. I'm going
What?
to use it for good. And resurrect
don't-
good King Arnold.
I don't intend to use its power. I'm merely here to get the power to the right person.
Well said. Please pick a door.
Steermere, please.
All right. This one.
That was the one we
We've
were just
already
in.
went in that one.
Oh, really? This one.
Yeah.
Then.
You don't remember because you were only in there for a short bit.
I don't remember because I was unconscious.
I will lead the way on this door.
Okay. Now, when you open this door, this hallway looks different from all the others. Instead of it just being a boring plebeian hallway, this hallway is clearly studded with ropes and holes in the walls and sigils engraved upon stone and strings dangling and pulled taut across the ground and chains hanging.
Okay. This looks like a trap. Just, can we get the... Where's Ethan?
They're all outside.
It's outside.
He's looking for beans.
They're not coming back.
Fucking Ethan.
It actually looks like a trap. Which cleric would this be? Think.
Malchus.
We don't
I
need the
nod.
approval of every cleric. We can try
agree.
another room.
So we try another room first.
Where's the Sphinx going?
It's just moving.
Master
Make sure we
Sphinx,
don't
can we
get
try
Ethan.
another room?
If you answer another question.
Okay.
One at a time now.
I'll go first.
Cassian. If you alone were to survive these trials, and all others were to perish, what would you do with the scroll?
Would bring the scroll home to the Stormtide Kingdom and resurrect good King Arnold with it.
By yourself? It's a lot of power in one man's hand. You could do anything with it.
I would vanquish anyone in my way to bring good King Arnold back.
And Steermere, cleric of gods, if you alone were to survive these trials and have the power of this scroll fall into your hand, and all your friends were to lay dead at your feet, what would you do with the scroll of resurrection?
If you'd asked me this when we first crash landed on this continent, I might have given you a different answer. But I have learned many things on my journey here. I've grown to respect Cassian and his leadership, and I'm now fully bought into our purpose here and our mission to resurrect good King Arnold, having seen the terrible impact of slavery firsthand. So I think I would look to see out the end of the mission. I would try and return home and use the scroll for its intended purpose.
What if I had asked you at the beginning of your trip?
When we first landed here, I was very upset. I'm not sure I would have continued the journey. I think if my friends had been dead, I would have just abandoned the quest.
If you had gotten this far, and they were all dead at the beginning of the journey, what would you think you would have done?
It's difficult for me to say. I have no family to speak of, at least none that I know. Most of my close friends died on the ship, and the shipwreck, their bodies lost to the sea. Even if I'd wanted to bring back my best friend, I wouldn't have been able to.
You wouldn't raise Cassian?
I would not. Not only because at the time he and I were not that close, and I don't think he would want to be resurrected in the place of good King Arnold. In fact, he'd probably strike me down after realizing what I'd done.
Cypher Quickclaw, if you alone were to survive these trials and your friends were to be laying dead at your feet, what would you do with the Scroll of Resurrection? Would you use it on your companion, who you fought with for so long?
This would not happen. Me and Drollfraser will either die side by side or live side by side. If there's an opponent that's strong enough to take him down, then he will take me down as well. But in the world where that could happen, I would do with the scroll as I was instructed. And bring it back to Julia.
And Drollfrazers, if you alone were to survive these trials and your friends were to lay dead at your feet, what would you do with the scroll?
Drollfraser will kind of like look up and look the Sphinx in the eye. And he would say, "You know what I would do." And he'll lick his lips.
He would eat it.
Tell me. I want you to speak it into the space.
I would bring it back to Julia to get it to where it belongs.
Go ahead now. Pick your door.
Go down this door.
Yep.
Cassian leads.
All right.
Fuck Malchus.
Yeah, fuck Malchus.
True.
Loser.
Fuck Malchus.
Unless he's the mob.
There is a sign posted on the door as you get here. It's written in the common tongue. It says, "Your test, should you choose to accept it, is to order your party. The person in the front is the most important person in your party. Second most important person following them, and the least most important person at the back. Do not enter until you have arranged yourself thusly."
Drollfraser will start pushing towards the front of the party.
That's a good one.
And he'll say, "Good luck surviving the desert without me."
What do you have to help us survive the desert? I'm the one who's making water. Without me, you'd have died of thirst.
Blood is drinkable, but
Steermere.
desert is cold at night and hot during the day. A hut is a safe
We don't have
place.
to argue over whether the capable, battle-hardened hobgoblin or the old man are more important at surviving the desert. I think we should think more about what the signs means by important. I doubt that they meant
The
good
most
at
important
surviving the
person
desert.
to getting this scroll back to the mission right now is Steermere. He's the only one who can create water. The second most important is Razors. He's the one who puts up the hut and keeps us safe on our journey. The third most important is either me or Cypher. I would say it's probably Cypher to keep Razors in check. And I would say I'm the least important.
I don't think that's true, Cassian. I agree that I should be first. As a cleric. And has the ability to create water. That makes sense. You're our leader here, and we wouldn't have made it this far without your leadership. You're the one with the connections back home to make sure the scroll gets where it needs to be. I think it should be me, and then you, Cassian. And then Cypher, and then Droll of Roses.
Cassian seems like the person who is the most likely to get the scroll to where it needs to be. I believe Cassian should be in the front. I believe
Well.
Sturmir is next, because I believe the two of us have no chance of getting the scroll where it needs to be. Me and Razor are of equal importance, because we are nothing without the other. So we should go side by side.
Can they squeeze and go side by side?
The sign says it's
Fuck
Yeah,
the
so
sign.
let's not do that. Let's follow the sign's instructions. I still think that I should be first, but I think there's an argument for putting Cassian first, so I think that's probably fine. I actually don't think it's going to matter which order Droll, Razor, and Cypher go in too much. I think
Droll Razor should be
probably-
third, yeah.
Yeah, Droll, Razor third because of the hut spell.
Then it seems like we've already came in the correct order. Cassian will go for the door.
just to be clear here. The order is, and everyone's on board with this.
No, I think that me and
Droll,
Cassian
Razor
should,
is
should
not.
switch.
Droll is like longing for the room with ropes.
I think we can argue that Cassian would go first, but I think on balance it's probably better for me to go first. But
Droll does not want to enter the room in this order.
I think
He's
out of
making it very
character,
clear.
Cassian is the most important person to the mission. This mission wouldn't have happened if he would have died.
What does
Um,
important mean? I'm the son of a hobgoblin chieftain. I'm more important than you in my tribe.
you've both just said that you take the scroll to Julia Farseer. We don't know what her intentions would be. So I think it's pretty clear that you two aren't the most important, because left alone, if we were to die, the scroll wouldn't get to Good King Arnold, I don't
Well,
think.
How do you
we
know
would
that?
take it to
Julia-
we would hold on. We would take it to Julia because that would be the most likely step for the scroll
Yeah.
to end up with where it
Oh,
needs to
okay.
be.
I'm not gonna
Us
like.
two can make our
walk to
way
the sea.
over to your homeland, but
Yeah, so
Julia
maybe
would know how to get it there.
Perhaps I misunderstood your intentions. I feel like given a choice, Julia would find another use for the scroll.
Well, you don't know their intentions. This is just what they're saying.
Julia will get
She
the
did say she
scroll
wants a relationship with the Stormtide. Is it
where it
Stormtide?
needs to be.
Stormtide, yeah. I
And
think
it's
that we're
not
in the
like she
correct
doesn't
order.
believe in gods.
Okay.
Cypher, do
It's-
you?
I mean, she doesn't really pray to them, but she like acknowledges their existence and importance. It's just she's more on her own a lot.
Steermere, I think I actually agree with you. Without me, the mission wouldn't have happened. Without you, the mission can't be fulfilled. I'll swap with Steermere.
Okay.
Razor,
You go
this is
first.
not the time for your ego. Puts
Open
a
the
hand
door,
on his
Steermere.
shoulder.
I think. Wait, we need to make sure
I
the
am but
Droll
a
Razor
tool.
goes back in his spot as third.
Yeah, who's third?
No. Droll
Yeah.
wants to go last. He says, "I am but a tool in this party."
This isn't the time for sulking Droll Razors. It's merely a.
Droll is flat out refusing to go a third.
Because he's only got 9 fingers.
Well, with that
I
attitude,
also-
he probably is the least important.
Cassian, Cypher, step forward.
I
agree.
I also believe that this order makes sense because if I weren't there, I don't know if Droll Razor would be a lot of use to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I step in.
In
What
we
cleric
go.
are we looking at?
Cleric of a
Tempos.
Stare.
This is just order.
Order.
Oh my
Ah.
god. Fuck you, Neil.
I see you have picked wisely. Clearly, the cleric is the most important person in a party, says the cleric standing before you. So, he will walk out from behind his little altar, and he'll come up to Steermere, look intently into your eyes, and say, "How will this scroll of resurrection help your people, Steermere?"
The Stormtide Kingdom has been in disarray since the untimely death of our king, Good King Arnold. The kingdom itself is under threat of dissolution purely from his loss. That does not speak to the damage being done by the reversal of his visionary policies around slavery and cruelty to enemies. Not only would our kingdom, the Stormtide Kingdom, collapse without his uniting leadership, but it would spell disaster for the enemies remaining of our kingdom surrounding our borders.
Your people are all of the Stormtide Kingdom. You align yourself with the whole. You are one unified people.
I work for the military of the Stormtide Kingdom, or at least I did. And the military serves to protect the people and the interests of the kingdom, so I would say yes. At least as much as any man can claim.
And the priest will move on up to Cassian. You here, warrior. How will this scroll of resurrection help your people? Your people.
Scroll of Resurrection will help my people. It will bring back good King Arnold, obviously, to reduce slavery and get rid of it. But I think the journey to get this Scroll of Resurrection will help my people be less racist towards others. I look back at my monster companions. We like to think of humans as being the only good, but I've seen a lot of good in this one right here. I'll point to Cypher. I think that we need to use this scroll to teach good King Arnold that it's not just us who needs saving.
He nods. Moves on to the next one. You, half-orc. Surely you must have a different answer. How would a scroll of resurrection help your people?
I have a name.
Speak it to me, and I shall repeat it back at you.
Cypher Quickclaw. I think
Cypher-
it's pretty rude to refer to beings as just the race that they are, don't you think?
I called him warrior. I knew not his name. I know not yours, nor the one at the ends. I only know the name of the true leader of this party. But
Okay.
Cypher Quickclaw, warrior, tell me, how would this scroll help your people? The people that with which you identify.
My people are Julia and everyone that serves her. Julia has decided that this scroll and Julia has decided that this scroll in the hands of these people is right. She's decided that this is what must happen to the scroll. Anything that she decides will help her, will help me, and will help me fulfill what she wants me to achieve. I trust her blindly, trust her with my life, and I do not question it. So there's no doubt in my mind that this scroll, getting to where it needs to be, will help my people.
Cleric moves on. You, last of the party, judged to be worth less than the others. How would this scroll, if used properly, help your people, the meekest of all?
Drawrazor will let out a gentle sigh and say, "This scroll cannot help my people."
Oh? Interesting. Tell me more.
The ones I'm loyal to need more than one leader to be brought back from the dead. They need a true hero.
Very wise. I think your party has undervalued you. It takes a strong man to realize when a different, more important game is being played on the side, and that there is much in front of us, more in front of us, I would say, than behind us. And what will come will be more important than what has come before. This party in their
Drawrazor's, like, trying to
collection.
map that sentence and looks really confused. Sorry.
This party, in its whole, will do a wonderful job. You have the approval of a stare to take the
Thank you.
scroll.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We leave this room.
Yes.
Why not?
I ask, what's behind these doors?
Open them.
We are on the 8th floor. Behind those doors are staircases down to deeper floors. Would you like to visit them?
No.
They are unlocked. I will not stop you.
Is it dangerous?
Everything in this pyramid is dangerous.
In that case, we shall return to the Sphinx.
Yeah, I'll head up.
Is it dangerous? Yep. Okay, I'm out of here. All right.
Mr. Sphinx, could we go past this way?
Yeah, we're just fully ignoring the Malchus corridor.
Yeah, I think for now. We only need
Okay.
6. We have 3.
I have more questions for you, but perhaps they are best asked next week on the Lazarus expedition.
Good idea. You are wise beyond your years,
You're
Sphinx.
a wise Sphinx.
Well,
Please,
We won't
if you
be
would
here
like
next
to
week,
know
however.
more, if you want the favor of the gods, remember to sign up to the Patreon.
The last thing we're gonna do before we head out is we're gonna go take a quick little look at Roy and Vasher, those long lost, almost forgotten by this point members of the party who just keep slipping further and further away. Are they still watching this? Are they still keeping an eye on the happenings? Or have they grown bored? It's been months now. Months.
Roy has not been watching more at no point than he is now. He is so invested. This is the final act. This is the finale. He knows that this is where the good shit happens in stories. He's glued to the looking glass, the pond or whatever. Maybe at some point during the months he would have tapered off, done some other stuff, played some games or whatever with Vasher, but now he's fully invested. He's freaking out. There's a Sphinx. Oh my god. He's so excited watching. He was cheering during the battle. against the ogre magi. And I assume Vasher's beside him, right? Vasher's invested in this.
Are you Vasher?
Vasher is beyond invested. He is obsessed with this, like to the point where if there's like a gameplay mechanic where he will come back as like a haunting spirit if they fail, that is how invested he is. This is like he is obsessed with this because this is his failure. And like he talks, like every time he talks to Roy about it, it's like he's like, no, they should have done this. I can't believe they're making this mistake. They shouldn't be trusting those guys. They should. The elves, man, the elves. I've never liked elves. Who are those? Why are they going to the elves? Like he's just every single thing that they do. He's like, God, please let it work out. Please let it work out. Come on, man. Like just okay. The ogre's a little bit weird. Like the hobgoblin's weird, but like he seems to be okay. But he's also kind of evil. I don't know what's going on there. And he's just obsessed. He is like he might be like having breakfast, like some, I don't know, Haven eggs, and then like in his cup, he's like watching. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the still water in the cup or the egg yolk in the cup, and you're just like...
He is consumed by this quest, like, because he does not want to be dead. This was his quest, and like when the cleric was talking about Vasher should have been here, it like actually re-traumatized him. Like he went straight back to that place where he was like, I need to go down there, and he like, you know, he really isn't dealing with the idea of being dead and not doing this quest very well. And it's only grown worse as time has gone on. That he has become more and more obsessed with the outcome, as he's become more and more doubtful of their ability to pull it off.
Well, your bartender has changed once again. It's now a 6'7", that's like 200 centimeters, tall woman with broad shoulders and raven hair, who continues to make sure you have food and water and the things that you need, and will find you from time to time. But you'll also be noticing that there's like a song that's you can kind of catch. Like, have you ever been like on a pier or near the ocean on like a kind of windy evening, and like when the wind changes a little bit, you can hear a conversation or like a voice from down the beach? Or if you're out on a pier, you can like hear the crowd from the beach, or you can hear a song coming off of a boat nearby. And then like the wind shifts again and you can't quite hear it. That's it. There's often like a distant song that you can catch little bits of. And you can't quite pull its direction, not at first. Now that it's been going for a couple weeks, like you think it's coming from the sea. And you keep catching a glimpse of it. And it's got that like earworm effect where you've kind of got like a tune, and you're kind of singing it to yourself, but you don't know the whole thing. And it's just sort of like it's going through your head, and then you hear it out there again. It starts to go through your head, and then you hear it out there again.
Yep. Every now and again, he'll go stand at the side of the beach and like look out at the waves. And
Is there anything you would
strain his ears to try and hear whatever the noise is?
Yeah. It's not a catchy tune, but it's a familiar one. It reminds you of your early days. It's like maybe it's a nursery rhyme. That it might be a nursery rhyme, actually. Like one that you can't quite remember. Maybe one that was sung to as a small child, but I guess neither of you had kids, so you're probably outdated with your nursery rhymes. Yeah.
Actually, I read nursery rhyme daily. I keep up. I'm sorry.
Nursery rhyme daily.
Yeah, damn right. It's a newspaper, bro. Read a book.
I gotta go touch some grass.
Yes, I'm listening out for the nursery rhyme.
Okay. Well, is there anything you want to say to each other or to the other people that are here? Because they come and they go, and you're not really seeing the same faces very often, but you are seeing people who are showing up and being surprised and like freaking out and doing the whole like where the hell am I thing. It's kind of amusing the first few times. After 20 or 30 times, I don't know, maybe it's amusing again.
Best way I could just go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
The best way I could describe it is like Vasher is like institutionalized at this point. He's like, oh yeah, I've seen, he's like the old guard in a prison. He's like, I've seen people come through here. And he's also just gone a little bit mad with being dead for so long and not getting closure.
As Roy watches them pass this last trial, or the latest trial, he will turn to Vasher. He will say, "This is so exciting. This is the first story I've ever heard where the monsters help the heroes."
Vasher will give him a look and say, "Are they really monsters if they're helping?"
Roy will continue to watch.
Well, we'll find out next week on the Lazarus
The week after.
expedition. That's right, the week after. We're not here next week.
But we will be here for the Patreon exclusive after show. I went to a BDSM party this weekend, and I have a story to tell, so I'll catch you there.
Oh my God. See you guys in the after show. Bye-bye.